All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We got some guests in the house. I don't know if you guys remember these guests, but this is probably not going to be a family-friendly show because we have another trucker in the house and we have another up-and-coming trucker in the house. Um, these two gentlemen, if you guys don't remember, are remembered as the Bitch Boys.
Bitch
So
boys, yeah.
I'm gonna let them introduce themselves because we're gonna have a fantastic conversation. This is gonna be freaking awesome. I've not talked to Adam since the convoy, and I have talked to Brian from time to time on the phone, and we got some stuff that we want to discuss. So, Brian, go ahead and tell people who you are, what you're
Uh,
about, where they can find you.
I'm on Rumble. I don't, Brian, bitch boy number two. Adam is bitch boy number one.
I don't know. You were like I don't know. You were one.
How did we get that? Was that a troll that came up with that?
I don't know what their intention was because I don't try to read too much into that personal stuff. But I just felt like it was a good contribution. But yeah, we were coined the bitch boys. I think pretty much right off, pretty much like day two or something. And I was like, I like that.
Yeah, it
I
was
like
pretty
that.
early.
The bitch boys. Yeah,
We all
Helms.
met at we all met at the convoy.
Yeah,
We all hung out at the convoy. Vern's
I
been
did.
to
I
my
mean, look.
house.
Like when we first met, I was just running up to you like with a bunch of camera gear, right? Like going, please
Yep.
let me
Him
ride in your
and his
truck.
cool hair.
Let me
Him and
let
his
me
cool
ride,
hair.
bitch.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we've got a future, Beach Boy, Beach Boy. I always call Brian the better half of the bitch boys. Um,
Yeah. But I'm on Rumble, and unfortunately, I'm still on TikTok.
there, then
Well,
China is listening to you, buddy.
Rumble's a
oh, so
pain
you're
in
a
the
Fed.
butt for me to use.
So you're a
So
Every
Fed.
everyone at
I'm a Fed.
Hagerstown was a Fed. I don't know if y'all knew that. Like literally everyone, all of us, even the people that didn't know they were like me. I didn't realize I was until I went to Hagerstown, and now
Yeah,
I
me either.
realize I'm like
Me
a
either.
secret. I'm NSA. I'm super secret, man. I don't
It,
even know
it
what
was
I'm doing.
it was
Which is
it was
funny,
so secret that you didn't even know it.
I don't even know. I don't even know who
and
I'm
I
working
guess
for.
that means I have to dislike myself, right?
Yes. Yeah, you're canceled by
Okay.
yourself.
All right, so why don't we have this gentleman introduce himself,
Is it
tell
my
us
turn?
where he's from, what he's doing, and
Well, I am America, clearly. Actually, this is oh crud and a half. What's his name? William, the poet, America's poet. I bought this shirt from William at one of the first convoys that I ever covered. I didn't even think it was going to be anything, and then it slowly turned into something. William was one of the first people I met. Um, and from there, I followed some convoys until I made the plunge and was like, okay, I'm getting a ticket to DC. And I think I met Brian. I want to say like day two or three of me getting there. I was gonna ride with the trucker, and I just kind of, I mean, it took like 2 seconds. I asked like one trucker, and he was like, "Okay, I got somebody," and he took me down to Brian's truck, and that's how we met. Excuse me, pardon me. And then Brian actually introduced me to my trucker buddy number two, which is Davey, and then I rode with Davey for quite some time. So fantastic experience at Hagerstown. And then I met Vern. I can't remember I exactly the day, but I do remember the first conversation me and you had up there by the stage at Hagerstown. We had like a good, I remember a good long conversation just about all kinds of stuff. And I remember thinking that Vern, he's a cool guy. He's a smart guy. Um,
I remember meeting you the first time when after Brian kidnapped you the one day we are getting ready to leave. Um, but
oh,
I don't know if you
really?
remember this, but yeah, I don't know if you remember this. You were the reason why I figured out how to do Rumble.
Was that
Before
true?
this, I was only able to upload, and you were the one of the people that helped me out because I was having some difficulties trying to figure out how to do it. And you kind of showed me how you look at your comments and how you do your live and stuff like that. So you were
Oh
one of the
yeah,
initial people that
really?
actually got me hooked up to figure out Rumble.
That's that.
So
If that's the only thing I accomplished at Hagerstown, I say that's a good. I'm glad for it.
see, that's the only thing we need to accomplish is getting people on Rumble, right?
For real, yeah. I try to, and I think you were one of the people who told me about just YouTube was just crap, and I didn't listen exactly at first. I was like, okay, Vern says, but you were right, man. Good Lord. Yeah, we need to get people over to Rumble, but
Have
Rumble's
they
got a.
canceled you?
What's that?
I know you were purposely trying to get YouTube to kick you off. Have they done it yet?
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Like I was done with YouTube, before YouTube was done with me, I guess. But no, the answer is no, not yet.
Oh.
But it's been honestly, it's been kind of fun. Because I've realized, as much as I hate YouTube and I wish that they weren't like the commies they are, but you can have a lot of fun, like just going around their stupid rules, because that's how stupid they are. So, like, for instance, I would get kicked off all the time, and I would say, oh, they stole the 2020 election or something like that. I'd be like, 2020 election, that was crap, and that would be it, right? And so now all I do is I go, oh, but we all know the 2020 elections was like the best election ever, right, guys? And I wink and I do, and that's it. And then it's like, and then an algorithm doesn't flag me, even if somebody does. It's like I didn't say it, so but they know what I'm saying. So screw YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube pretty much cans you if you fart the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I realized real quick that TikTok does the same. I know, Vern, you had said you had a ton of problems with them, and everybody should.
Remember the little short clip I sent you today that I said YouTube tried to take down? The one with the one where I tied to Hitler's speaking to Biden's speech to some other interesting characteristics.
If you haven't seen
TikTok
it,
removed that within 30 seconds.
I think I've seen that.
TikTok removed that within 30 seconds. So I freaking
I put up a video on TikTok, and all it was is it's basically a worldwide walkout that they're trying to organize somewhere in Europe, and there was a trailer of everything that's gone on for the last 2 years around the world, and there was some video of cops with I believe it was beanbag bullets, shooting at people. And so TikTok took it down for violence and gun use. And it said the only gun use that was allowed was military and police. Well, it was police. So I put in a thing for them to review it. And then they completely took it off and said it was banned for violence. And it was the cops shooting at people.
Yeah, the community guidelines, community guidelines, they don't have a community guidelines. What they have is a community of people that say, we don't like it, we're offended, so it got to go off. That's the guidelines.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But I was like, oh, man, I got something banned.
Well, the bar is so low nowadays. I mean, it's so weak to me because ever since I can remember, it just never bothered me that there was disagreement or conflict or that somebody could think differently. I mean, in fact, I don't think I would be anything, worth a spit as far as my intelligence or anything if somebody didn't say, hey, you're kind of, what you just said there was kind of dumb. That was kind of a dumb thing to say. And nowadays, we have like a whole culture of people that literally it's not that complicated. It's that simple. They want to ban any dissent and they feel like that makes them right. And it's just this circular logic that goes round and round. And I'm coming from the liberal side, kind of running like my ass is on fire, going, wait, what happened? Like, I don't remember those people. I don't remember those people here. Even some of my friends that I've known for years and years. It's so crazy to me that people are like associating this with like Trump and conservatism and all through. I think Trump kind of broke them to a certain extent, but at the same time, it's so weird to me because I don't every time this comes up, I always say, I don't, Trump didn't try to make me wear a mask. Trump didn't try to like make me get vaccinated. The Republicans didn't, try to make me do this or that. All of those mandates started with you guys, and then you turn it right around and with YouTube and the big tech companies, you go, oh, we've decided we're so right. If you disagree with us, you're dangerous, you're banned. And I just find that to be so intellectually weak. It's funny and it's scary. That's about, I think the simplest way to sum it up. You got to laugh, but
and when did
I
offending
am kind of curious.
become a crime?
Right? Yeah, be offended. That's part of growing up. That's part of being an adult. Be offended and deal with it. Deal with being offended. That's the question you got to ask yourself at that point. Wait, why am I offended? I should ask myself. If it's worth it, then I guess take that battle. But a lot of times, it's just in your mind, just deal with somebody else thinking differently, and ain't that big of a deal. Yeah. I'm sorry, Vern, you said you had a question.
No, I'll go. You're good. I am kind of curious about Adam. You had said you were one of those deranged liberals, and you sort of found the light. But what was that one thing that got you to like not be one of those deranged liberals? Do you have like a defining moment, or was it like multiple things that happened?
It was probably multiple things, and not to trigger anybody, but it was probably progressive. I don't mean that in the progressive way, but it was it was sort of like a little chink here and a little chink there, and I mean that in a racist way. I'm talking about chinks like Chinese people. No, I mean
Canceled.
Anyway, no,
You're getting kicked off in the first 15 minutes.
No, so basically, like, here's just like my recollection of it, and the irony or the coincidence or whatever you want to call it of me trying to take my YouTube channel and kind of bring it up to Hagerstown and fight for freedom with the convoy was that when we started the channel, I considered myself liberal. But I didn't know that there were liberal people that were worth making fun of. Like, they took it too far, like that, the political correctness. And I felt comfortable that most of my liberal friends thought that way as well. Something after Trump changed, after Trump was elected, I admit, I call myself a former Trump deranged liberal. I couldn't stand Trump. I didn't totally, get it. I think a lot of the misconception was simply the media I consumed. So I think those were to go back to your original question. I think those were some of the initial kinks, was that I did, even though I wasn't a fan of Trump, I did see a lot of things going on in the news that I was like, he didn't say that. Like, they'd say he said we were supposed to inject ourselves with bleach. And I was like, he didn't say that. And then there was the other one where he was saying Nazis were on, the good people are on the side of somebody and Nazis. And he never said that either. And I started noticing stuff like that. And I would try to take into account, and I would bring that up to my liberal friends. And what really sort of put me off in the beginning was something had changed. I think it was Trump. I think it was a Trump era thing, not him personally necessarily, but just, the timing. Suddenly, like, when I would bring stuff up to my friends, suddenly it was a level of defensiveness. It was a level of vitriol that I just hadn't seen before. I got, and I'm the type of person, I don't back away from that. So initially I got kind of sick of it right off the bat. The false equivocations, especially with like the George Floyd crack pipe riots and that stuff. I said, look, you can, I make a joke like, that around that time I'm around my liberal friends and I'm like, hey, protesting is fine, but this rioting, that's bad, right? Right, liberals, right? And there's nobody, like the liberals are all just crickets. I don't know what happened. That was one of the first things I started calling my friends out on. Was I was tired of hearing like, well, yeah, rioting is bad, but, and I just finally, like, one of my friends said that to me. I was like, no, but no, it's just bad. It's just bad. That's all, and that's it. So yeah, about
it's what I call the what I call the 529 insurrection. You've heard that term, right?
The 529 insurrection.
Yeah.
I don't know what 529 refers to.
May 29th of 2020, 529 insurrection.
Is that
like you call the crack pipe riots?
Oh, okay. Is that that's the date? That's the date.
Yeah,
George
529. That's what I think. That's the actual day they attacked the White House. That's the 529 insurrection.
Well, there's a lot of insurrections from the Floyd stuff. Yeah. When you said 529 insurrection, there's like a highway. All I can think of is Highway 529. That's just down the road from me. So you said 529 insurrection, and I'm just thinking, I don't remember anyone taking over that highway, nor why would they?
Well, maybe we should.
Maybe we should. Maybe that, I think in hindsight, the convoy should have just insurrected 529. That probably would have worked. But no, there was it's insane. Like there was literal insurrections that happened in Seattle and in Portland where there was no ambiguity about it. Those people went into the government buildings and said, "Get out. We're taking over." And I've challenged people on the show to say, find me the January 6th rioters that said that. I don't know anybody that said that. I don't know one January 6th rioter that marched into the Capitol and said, "We're taking over, get out."
In Portland and Seattle, the cops weren't standing there holding the doors open for people either.
Well, I mean, they know, but in Washington, when they came in, they left. They tucked their tails and walked out the door. A bunch of kids came into the dang courthouse. They were like, "Go, it's ours." They're like, "Okay."
Well, they're still trying to put out the narrative that a bunch of cops got killed and a bunch of, the narrative on that whole thing is just ridiculous.
It's insanity. One person was shot, and it was kind of weird, but she was shot in the back. I mean, I don't know anything about the specifics of that, but why would they need to include suicides of cops that took place after, or two people who had a heart attack, during the riot? Like, if that doesn't tell you right now that they're trying to trump up what happened on January 6th, what else is there? The thing was over in 3 hours. And if you really want a good laugh, go watch the clips of them in the Capitol buildings. It's fun. Like they're
just walking around looking at shit.
My initial response when I heard the report that there was the way they worded it was at first was there was a riot at the Capitol building at the People's House. I had two responses. The first response was, there was another mostly peaceful protest. And my second response was, I don't agree with it, but at least the people that did it weren't stupid, because they did. The ones that we saw in 2020, all the riots that were going on, they were burning down people's businesses. They had nothing to do with it. They're burning down their neighborhoods. At least the people that did it in January 6th went right to the freaking source.
Right.
Well, and in Portland, they were standing on the freeway, stopping traffic, trying to beat the hell out of people that they stopped on the freeway. I mean,
this is another false equivocation too. You cannot find me a prominent conservative, anybody that won't say, as we all would probably say right here, if you committed a crime on January 6th, then you should suffer the consequences for it. That's it. Done. How many people can the Democrats and the left say, how many times have they stood up and said, "Hey, if you committed crime during the Floyd riots, you should be in prison"? None of them say that. In fact, they
actually said,
Biden
actually said Antifa's just an idea.
Oh yeah. It was,
Somebody in Rumble, Winnie, welcome over to Rumble. Rumble's definitely better than YouTubes. They're asking, seeing truckers here. I wonder how Davy's doing. Have you heard from Davy?
I have heard from Davey. Davey, well, we just saw Davey relatively recently. We went to the Renaissance Fair with his family in Colorado, and
Oh, nice.
his two little pirate children, and I mean that like literally. He has, for whatever reason, pirate children, and one of them even like shaved their head like right in the center, like a
Davy's kind of a pirate himself. So.
Davey is a
Yeah,
Davey's
that's true.
yeah, he's quite the guy. He like the last time. I'm sorry.
He had to leave in Sacramento because he had some kind of medical procedure that somebody in his family had to do. Do you know if that was all went well or?
I remember that, and I don't, forgive me. I don't want to like misspeak because I think I know, and I don't want to misspeak. Yeah, but I remember that. As far as I know, yes, it did go fine. It did go fine. But last I spoke with him, he sent me a video of him riding a horse, like it looked like he was in a movie, and he rode his horse around in a circle, and he played not taps, but the cavalry charge, I think is what it is. I don't know exactly. Yeah, and on a bugle.
On a bugle.
On a bugle. Yeah.
Really?
The round, the right. I'm saying that right. Right. It's round and yeah, and yeah, it was awesome. And it was his audition. He might be doing that as like an extra in the background of some Kevin Costner movie. So
cool.
All right, man. Cool. So
it's because of the bush.
He fits it, yeah. But no, I mean, it's because of that. You should have saw his audition, man. He looked like he just rode around like a badass. I'm gonna have
to text him and see if I can get a copy of that.
Yeah. Well, I tried to get. He sent like a compressed version. Yeah, I want like the full resolution version too, because he sent me one on the phone and it's still badass. But yeah, it's cool. I'll forward it to you, Brian. I've got it on the phone.
Cool.
Yeah, but he's doing great. We met his family. He's got a beautiful family in Colorado, and we go to Colorado quite a bit, so we'll see him probably every year or so.
Yeah, I forgot that he's in Colorado.
Yeah, his address is 9721 Bold. No, I don't know his address.
Deranged liberal way.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Davey since I left. Well, since you were last with him right before he took you back to Houston or whatever. That was the last time that I had talked to Davey. I mean, I've talked to you. I talked to you quite a bit after you got back, and then we talk every once in a great while.
Yeah.
Vern and I probably talked the most. We talked quite a bit. Vern came and hung out at the house, like I told you, and that was pretty cool. When the convoy was in Idaho, but
nice.
I haven't seen him out on the road. I'm still waiting. I'm always in Texas.
Now I run a pretty regular route, so I don't really veer off the beaten path anymore.
Well, and you're always up there in Maryland, and I don't go up there.
Yeah, I don't like that part of it.
And I'm always everywhere around Adam, but never near Adam. Like I'm always in Dallas or Laredo or
Dallas. Hey, if you're in Dallas for too long, I could get up to Dallas.
I'm actually headed to New Braunfels tonight to get my APU worked on tomorrow morning.
New Braunfels. I should
right outside of San Antonio.
Oh yeah, that's not too far from me either. Hey,
after we do this, I'm gonna for dinner. Shower and then head that way.
Jew Dog, you down here? Yeah. Want to say hi to Brian?
Hi, Brian.
Yeah, come over here.
We can get that pic. We can Photoshop him on the horse with Vladimir Putin on a horse riding shirtless.
Oh no.
Yeah. Hey, say hi to everybody. Hey, it's the missus.
Hi.
It's really cool.
What Why are you wasting your time with this guy? I'm sure you all
So
have
how is your family doing? How are you guys doing?
can't hear you because he has headphones in. So.
Uh,
Oh. That's true.
We got to do sign language, Brian. We got
They
to do
said,
sign language.
I only know a couple, and they're probably not appropriate.
they said you look very nice, and I'm a very lucky man.
Yeah. Just remember that.
I'm not saying she's like sitting there going, I can see the screen. I'm like hearing you guys like an idiot. And she's like going, I don't know what they're saying. You know that. I'm like,
Right.
oh,
She's got to go pull the live up just to verify that. You know that, right?
Nice to meet y'all. I've heard a lot about you, Brian. All good things. So thanks
Yeah.
for looking out for Clay. On his
I
Massachusetts
can't stop
adventure.
talking about Brian. She's like, first month when I was back, she's like, you got to shut up about this Brian Helms. She's like, you just don't know. This man is dead sexy, man. I'm telling you.
You're
Anyway.
a legend, man, around here. So it's good to
Well,
to
mine
meet you,
mine
Brian.
said that about Vern, and then she met Vern, and she's like, Vern's cool. So
Let me
we
see.
had a good time when he
Hey,
come on.
That's cool.
Adam, somebody wants to say hi to you. LKW Cross says hi.
Hey, LKW Cross, that's my OG Rumble, very, very loyal Rumble watcher, and I'm very glad for that. Does LKW Cross does not do the
I got to meet her one time for breakfast and one time for lunch.
How nice.
Yeah.
Lucky you. LKW
So
Cross,
yeah,
how you doing?
why did you decide to have me on here? I'm the only one that doesn't have a following.
You do what?
Yeah, you do.
What?
You just don't know it yet.
Oh, I got to get off TikTok
No,
if I were to help people.
I figured you guys kind of hung out quite a bit when you guys were together in the convoy, and I figured it'd be a good conversation, kind of meet back up.
Very
yeah,
nice.
we spent a lot of time together. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think
Mona.
I don't think I've seen Brian's face. I think we've texted and chatted, but I don't since we left. Yeah, I hadn't seen Brian or talked to him, like FaceTime or anything. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Just got older.
Except for the nightmares. Except for the nightmares, right?
I was just getting over them, and so that's all right. It's worth it.
Well, now I got to video call you more.
No, I mean, Brian was great, man. That whole experience was just fantastic.
I know the end point, like it didn't end well, but I think I can speak probably for both you as well as me that everything we did there was good intentions. We were doing it for the right reason, and we had a good time while we were there doing it. And it's a once in a lifetime experience, man. You can't. It's not like that's something that happens every day.
Well, I always said it. I was ready to go where whoever was fighting this crap, and that was, the convoy was the biggest game in town at the time. So no matter what happened, and I know we could have shows and shows about, the leadership and the different directions it would go and the people that would leave. And then, the people that say they were going to do this thing or not, the people that got kicked off, there's all kinds of drama. At the end of the day, they were doing what everybody should have been doing. I know it's messy. You get together, obviously it's people working together. It's always going to be messy, and you got to, work through that. That's where the leadership, is real important. But they were doing what needed to be done, and I was gonna help and do what I could. Hindsight's always 20/20, but yeah, no matter how it ended, even 1776 and some of these other movements that are still trying to push on. I don't know where the people are at, and I don't know why they're not taking this seriously. I really don't get it. It's kind of depressing, honestly.
I don't know how you can still bury your head in the sand. It's just
they haven't lost enough.
Yeah, I'm worried about that too, Vern. I don't know if they know. Like, if you don't know to appreciate something, it's good as lost anyway. If you can't appreciate it, and that's what I worry about. I worry it's not even about the fact that they understand it. It's that they don't even know to appreciate what it is that they're losing. Everyone is really, I don't know that, there's no fight really in anybody anymore. I don't know.
There is amongst people, but not fight
right,
directed in the
right.
right,
Not
right
in the
direction.
pointed in the right direction or doing. Yeah, we spend a
Right.
lot of time fighting about stupid stuff, but it is almost like a
Fighting each
team
other.
battle. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
But
that
even
was the design, I think.
that was the what?
Was to get I think that was the design of all this shit that's happened over, especially over the last 2 years, was to get everybody to fight amongst themselves, and that gets them what they want. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. And looking back, and I know this.
Stand divided we fall. That's a fact. That is a fact.
Yeah. It's happening like as we speak. Like looking back, I think if someone were to ask me, what was maybe the one thing that should have been focused on in the convoy, I really wish when we had that might and that those numbers, we'd have tried harder to really talk with, not preach to the choir, but go to universities. I mean, churches, wherever we could talk to people to try and do what you were just talking about, Brian, which is, hey, the media and everybody else wants us to believe we're like mortal enemies. Why don't we sit and at least discuss some common ground that we have? Just here's some different things that we these common interests that we have, especially with regards to freedom, especially with regards to government overreach and intrusion. I think there's a lot. I think that's the sad thing, is that there's a lot of people, whether they're liberal or conservative, they actually agree on a lot more than they realize. I mean,
Right.
you take the hottest button issue in the country at any given time, which is always abortion, right? And the fact of the matter is, regardless of what you think about Roe v. Wade, and that's, it's just like we're talking about, all the wrong issues about that issues are what's fought over. It's just like divide. Like you're mad because of this. You're mad because it's almost Handmaid's Tale, and you're mad because somebody's like gonna stomp your religious freedom. And yet, all at the same time, the fact of the matter is, most people in America, by every poll, every statistic, most people in America can agree that between conception and birth, that's a baby. Like, that's a pretty good place to start. So in other words, most people are not totally against abortion or totally for abortion. That's most people. So it's like we already agree, and we're letting these small minorities like divide us on issues that don't even really have us, a real standing in what's going on. I don't get it. Like, to me, that's a hot button issue where you can find common ground on. So why don't we do it? We continue to do it everywhere else.
Oh, that was the one thing that I kind of really, really, really pissed me off about Lindsey Graham. We all knew he was a snake in the grass for a long time already, but after they returned Roe v. Wade back to the states, he's now saying, like 6 weeks before the election, he goes, "Oh, we're putting legislation in that would ban abortions federally 15 weeks after conception." I completely disagree with it. I'm pro life, but I completely disagree with it because of the fact that government needs to stay the hell out of it to begin with.
Yeah.
Right.
And the only reason he's doing that is because he's trying to sabotage anything that's good that's happened so far, which is all the primaries we've seen with people getting unseated by their own party. And now we
that's why
also
they're
had, like,
doing
in New Hampshire. In New Hampshire, there's another primary that was won in the Senate for one of them was a Mitch McConnell backed candidate, and one of them was a Trump backed candidate. And the Trump backed candidate won the primary. And like people like Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, they can't freaking stand it. So now Lindsey Graham has to come out with that just to try to piss off the left. So they come out and they try to put a stop to the movement that we've had so far, the success. It's freaking disgusting.
So you're
they're
telling
doing
me
a lot of-
something. I'm sorry, you're telling me something new there, Vern. Lindsey Graham was pushing for like a federal abortion ban.
Oh yeah.
Really? Wow. Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah, yeah, he came out and said he's putting it into legislation 6 weeks before the election. Tell me
And if
that's got
they,
nothing to do with the fact that he's trying to disrupt the MAGA movement.
yeah, no,
Well,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
they're trying to do everything they can right before midterms too to sway, you know, votes one way or the other. A lot of these places they're doing, like for instance, dipshit Inslee in Washington. I had to go take a random the other day, and I still had to wear a mask.
Oh.
Of course, you know where it was. It was underneath my chin. It wasn't actually on. But in October 31st, he's dropping that mandate. Okay. How many
Yeah.
months
Right
are
before the election.
now?
Yeah.
Right before the election. It's
That's
ridiculous.
it all goes in the basket of things that are just like things are so quickly memory hold. It annoys me. Like why aren't we talking about this? You know, what did the mask do? Like what did it's just gone. Like it's like we forgot that people were like fighting tooth and nail if you were or weren't wearing a mask walking into a store. It's you know what?
And it was
Let's just forget that.
and it was a political statement too.
Yeah, and it's
Well,
important to like think back on this stuff, you know.
and look at all
Well, the funniest thing,
the
the
facts that have
funniest
come
thing that
out
I had
now.
happen to me, funniest damn thing I had happen to me. I was wearing my Trump 2020 hat like early on in this scamdemic, and I was in California, over in Ontario, California, and I walked into the fuel outlet and all I needed was a fuel receipt. That's all I needed. And I forgot I had my Trump 2020 hat on. And I walk in there and she reaches on the counter and she's like, "You got to wear a mask." I said, "I can't." And she's like, "Why not?" I said, "I just can't." And she just kind of like rolled her eyes and then she puts the freaking mask back down. I said, "Can I get my freaking receipt?" I mean, you got to give me a receipt. I purchased like over $500 in fuel. So she's
Ugh.
like a freaking religion.
It
Well,
is.
I know a guy guy that worked for me when I was running the FedEx thing, got trespassed from Love's in Missoula, Montana for not wearing a mask. Like four
Yeah.
sheriffs showed up and told him, "Don't come back."
Oh wow.
That is one other place I ran into a problem. And that's a very conservative area, which is that's actually where DSV was out of, was Missoula, Montana.
Right. Well,
And
Missoula is kind of a cluster because it's a college town, so it's a cluster of a lot
yeah,
of things. But as far as it is pretty conservative, the people that are from there and live there, like other than the people that are there for school. Montana as a whole is. But Montana
right.
got crazy with it, man. Like they got
Yeah,
nuts
well,
with it.
because that very Love's is the one that I walked in there like 4 o'clock in the morning to get coffee. And I had, because you got like the diesel side and always across the store is the gas side, right? I
Right.
had both the guy behind the diesel counter and the lady always across the freaking store screaming at me because I didn't have a mask on.
Was
I
the
said,
one at was the guy the bald guy? Was
I
he
don't
bald?
remember. I was screaming at him, calling him a commie and all that. So I just turned around and said, "Screw you, commies. I'll go get my own damn coffee somewhere else." He's like, "Well, you want me to bring some out?" I said, "No, screw you." Well, I said more like the F word, but and then he said, "Well, how about hot water? Can I bring some hot water?" I said, "No, F you. I don't need none of your crap. You can't you got to walk in. You got to toe the line like this. No, screw you." I freaking walked out. I was pissed. I was feel out of that parking
Yeah.
lot.
He
I
says
go
you
to
should be.
Maralt's across the freeway.
They wouldn't sell me a cinnamon roll because I didn't wear a mask.
Oh, in the bakery?
Yeah, I freaking
Really?
walked in because you can smell the fresh cinnamon rolls. I'm
They
like,
wouldn't sell
oh
you
my
a
God, fresh
cinnamon
cinnamon
roll.
rolls.
It's
And
a
they wouldn't
cinnamon
sell me a cinnamon
roll.
roll because it was,
This
yeah,
is what kills me. There's people that are overweight.
I know it got
They're on
crazy,
their
man.
last leg.
People lost their damn minds. It was
They're
insanity.
on a cane. They're
And,
trying to
and apparently
they're trying to get
Washington and Oregon are still in that
Yeah.
insanity.
I mean, just think about it. They're gonna buy a cinnamon roll and a pack of cigarettes and a liter of vodka. What are you? You're not trying to protect yourself from germs at that point. Like, what germ is going to get you? And what? Why are you fooling yourself? Like, you care about your health because you put a diaper over your mouth. Like, you don't care about your health.
And
that's
I
crazy.
still see it every day.
When you see fat boy like me walk away from a fresh cinnamon roll, you know I'm dead serious about that mask.
How many times a day, Vern, do you
trying to get a cinnamon roll here?
How many times a day do you still see a driver get out of his truck at the fuel island wearing his damn mask?
Yep.
I see it multiple times a day. It kills me.
Yeah.
You know what actually kills me more is I'll see a bunch of them hanging on their freaking turn signal or the trolley brake. Like a bunch of them hanging there, and they're dirty as I mean, they're dirtier than my underwear are. And they'll freaking pull them off of there and put them on. I'm like, what is it doing? Dirty as hell.
Nasty. That's nasty. And there was like, I just want to ask these people, like, do you not understand that communicable diseases were killing people prior to SARS-CoV-2? Where were you? Like, all the science was there. You weren't wearing a mask then. Like, what? I just want to ask them, like, what was the line? How many people needed to die from the disease before this became a religion? And you know, in China, they're still forcing people to COVID camps. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why are they doing that? Like, that doesn't do any good. But I guess you just, like, if you're a communist country, when you invest, then you have to follow through on it. So it's just, hey, you got COVID. Oh, I hear you. I'm good. Hello. I'm good.
Somebody made a good point. Said, hope it's a part two. Said the vodka sterilizes from the inside out. That must be why Nancy Pelosi's always drunk. Well, I'm sorry. Let me try to get my Nancy Pelosi voice. She's always drunk. She can't say.
Nice. That was spot on.
The mommy says my Congressman Dan Bishop never got back to me replying to the DC gulag, so I'm not voting for him. It's getting to the point I'm staying home. I understand that, but we can't stay home. That's what they want us to do. They want us to stay home.
Yeah, I'm not usually the type either to be like, you just vote for,
have the government provide for us and mine, shut up, sit down.
Yeah, then they have the control. But I'm not, I really feel like more than ever, it sounds like a cliche, Democrats have to go. Man, I don't know. There's never been, to me, a better example of we need like a at the voting booth hand slap hard, like very hard. And I don't think we're going to get it, honestly. I just think it needs to happen. I'm worried, like, comes the midterms, it's just going to be that little bit, 52 to 48 kind of stuff. And I'm like, man, you're not seeing the same thing I'm seeing if you're just not going. Like, I'm not even saying vote for Republican if you don't want to, but how you can vote for Democrat, I don't freaking know.
Even Joe Rogan said vote Republican, and Joe Rogan was a Bernie guy. Joe Rogan was a hardcore Bernie supporter, and one of their biggest he's got to be the loudest voice on the left, sort of like a Rush Limbaugh on the right. He was like the loudest voice on the left.
Yeah,
he has common sense.
He's freaking saying, "Hey, don't vote for my people. Vote for the other side."
Yes.
How bad do you have to screw up to get your loudest voice to say, no, don't vote for my people? I'm telling you, don't. Sad.
And he moved. He was one of the ones who was fleeing from California. We got Joe Rogan here, in Austin, Texas now. And Austin is a liberal dang city. So if you're moving from California to Austin and Austin is looking good to you, California must really suck. Like, it must really be bad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, you need to get a hold of Joe Rogan and tell him I want to talk to him.
I will.
Because I heard that Ben Shapiro watches your stuff too.
Oh yeah. Oh, all the time. Yeah. I'm their vice. I'm like
So,
their
so you need to tell your good friend Ben Shapiro I want to talk to that little squealer too.
I will let him know. I will make sure that he understands. Yeah,
You
I
got a
feel
lot of fans.
oh man. Yeah. No, I don't actually, Brian. So don't, you probably have a bigger following than I have. But no, I've got a lot of good loyal followers that we have a lot of good discussions. I never wanted to be in an echo chamber, so I really try to like get progressives and liberals, and we have some people that stop by a lot. I'm, we that really, to me is it's the whole reason that I kept going on the show and kept going with the channel was because of where I'm coming from and how much I'm seeing a lot of this. And I think the modern conservative movement is our best bet, and it's a bigger tent than a lot of liberals and progressives know. So I think right now, and I don't know how to do it or who to be a part of, but I think everybody should try to the best they can. We really need to be like showing people that it's imperative that they see these common grounds that we have and see who are the ones who are mandating what. Um, oh man, I mean the midterms is just I try not to even think about it because it makes me so nervous. What's
Yeah.
gonna come up here in November? Let's yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
that's kind of what reason I keep doing panels and stuff is because I'm constantly, I'm like, quite frankly, I'm pissed off at Ben Shapiro. I'm pissed off at Dan Bongino. I'm pissed off at uh, um, Officer Tatum.
really?
I can't stand him because, like, I used to watch Officer Tatum when he first started. Like, I remember watching him when he was small, and as far as following wise, not because he's a big
Yeah.
dude. But I watched him because he was open, he was frank, he was like he's like me and you. He said it the way it was supposed to be said. Like he was calling the rioters, not protesters. The minute
Right.
he got big, he started calling them protesters. Same with Shapiro. They started calling them protesters. Same
Really?
and then with my biggest thing with Bongino was the idea that when the Canadian convoy went down, he was begging for a convoy in the US. I
Yep.
mean, practically on his knees begging for it. And then the entire process of the convoy, I saw him cover the convoy by throwing a 3 second clip up at the end of his freaking show because he was too concerned about talking about what the media was talking about, which was Ukraine. And
Right.
I think we need to start taking the bull by the horns and carry the narrative rather than always be in the defense of what the media is talking about. So like
Yeah.
those people, I quit following them because I'm tired of it. I want freaking if you start out one way, you better stay real. Like don't be turning more PC or being careful how you say it now all of a sudden just because like I understand you want to take cuss words out, take the cuss words out. But I'm not talking about cuss words. I'm talking about just the way they word what's going on. All of
Yeah.
a sudden it's let's tiptoe around it on some thin ice. And it's pissing me off.
Well,
So I
because
think that's why I'm
when
gonna
it
keep
comes
doing
down
these
to
because this
it,
is my way of battling it.
it's all about their bottom line. They're
Yeah.
just like most people. They're concerned about them. It's about me. Fuck you. Excuse my language, but that's the way most of them are. It's about me. Screw you. And they're gonna do what they got to do to take care of themselves. And that's the
It's
problem with this country
yeah.
is everybody's concerned with themselves in the moment. What am I going to, I got to do this for me right now. And nobody looks to the future and what's actually going to happen when you do this. You know, I can't believe how many people still think we're in a, or they may not think it, but they say we're in a good place. We're going a good direction. Biden's doing a good job. How can you look at yourself in the mirror and say that? It just kills me
Yeah.
because there's nothing about anything right now that's okay. Absolutely nothing is okay right now.
No, and
Yeah.
it is frustrating when I consider that I am coming from the Trump deranged liberal part of this, and yet at the same time, like Vern, was saying, there's a lot of times that I'm looking to the conservatives and I'm looking to the leadership there, and I'm just as disappointed and don't understand exactly what their strategy is.
Well, and that's because the rhinos need to go too.
Yeah.
Hey,
Everybody who's
Brian,
been
hold
there.
on. Brian, hold a second here. Hold on a second here. I got a message from somebody that says, "Hi, Dad. It's Sadie. I love you."
Oh, Kaylin and Sadie are on. Yeah,
Hey.
So you're being watched.
Sam's probably watching too.
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna tell
No,
you, but I couldn't break in there. Be like, I
well,
was trying to figure out the right
I
time.
figured they were gonna watch. I figured they were gonna watch. So
Yeah, I told Kaylin we were gonna do this, and she watched your lives. She was glued to Adam's live the whole time we were at the convoy. So she did dealt with all his weirdos. I don't know,
I
man.
just got a message from a friend of mine.
They we did have a lot of might, I think, and a lot of power at the beginning of that convoy. And I think once we got to Hagerstown, that's, like you said, Adam, where it kind of went wrong. We didn't do everything we could have done. We kind of
there wasn't
sat around.
I mean, I think it's so important in a situation like that where you have to have those minor goals, which that's the funny, like that's all the kudos that I give them, very much so. All the minor goals and the stuff that you would need for a movement to have sort of a base, they were fantastic at. I mean, shoot, man, it was like having a campground, like you were like, we were camping every night with friends and buddies and stuff. But it was those overarching goals that always seemed to screw up. It's like, we're going to go here. Well, we didn't quite get there, but we're going to change the goal. So we'll just almost make it seem like that's what we were trying to do. And then, some things kind of dropped off, and then it just sort of happened, like that over time until, people were not really trusting the leadership or the direction. And you kind of had to go, yeah, I get it. I can see why, they're disappointed in this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and a lot of people started to lose faith little by little, and left. Some came back, I wanted to come back, but
yeah, for a lot of people though, I don't even, there was some like hurt division, and I know there was, but I think for the most part, it really was people that were like, man, I want to be here, but I've done everything I can do. Like, I've given all the money and the resources and my time, and now reality sets in, whether it's, like yourself with a family or just anything else, your job that you don't want to lose and stuff like that. I think that was kind of
I'm still paying the price for the time that I spent there.
I've
and
understand that.
But issues since, so
yeah, and there's a lot of people just like you. Yeah, that was the same. That's where I really was not. I don't think the leadership quite grasped that part of it, even though I know they spoke about it.
Right.
Because to me, if there's so much of everyone's personal, investment at stake, then your motivation becomes different. And they were really weird about how they dispense the information. And to me, at that point, it's like, there's Brian Helms here, and there's this trucker, and there's Vern, and everybody else. They're giving so much that even if they just stopped right now, like you're saying, Brian, you're going to feel the impact of this way out. That they owed it just to be straightforward. That's it. And I think it wasn't a matter of them thinking we weren't going to be straightforward. I think they thought they were managing by sort of controlling the filter of what information kind of got out and stuff. And I think it really should have been just from the beginning, like, look, guys, we're just going to say what's going on, and you can do what you got to do because we know everybody's got everything at stake in this. And that was, I think, kind of the, over time again, trust was lost over time.
Right.
But I think with the, I think they had the best of intentions, but,
Yeah, got a message about Tulsi Gabbard. And I know Brian's talked about Tulsi Gabbard before, and we kind of had a little bit of a disagreement on what we think of Tulsi Gabbard, like her being a Democrat. And a lot of people are thinking that she's a good person. Personally, me personally, I think she's a piece of crap because she knows what her entire party is about, and she knows what her entire party is doing, but yet she still fundraises for her party. Does that make you a good person? Not in my book. It makes you a pretty despicable person.
Yeah,
because
and
everyone in that party.
I did agree with you on that.
You did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because you're right.
I was kind of heated. I was like, nah, hell no. No, she's not, because she can say all the right things, but she still has, it's like
about
you
your actions,
supporting,
not your words.
Yeah. What's your thought on that, Adam?
I can't say that I can speak I know who Tulsi Gabbard is. She's from Hawaii. Isn't that the lady? Like, I can see her face in my mind, but, or she's a surfer at least, but,
she's in the military, and I think she's reserves or something like that. And she ran for president.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm good with, I'm glad if people are speaking out about it. It's sort of like Bill Maher. Like, I'm glad he says some of the stuff that he says, but he's so far off. It's like, well, I'm glad she says that, but maybe we have a lot of other issues. And that, yeah, I would say, without knowing as much as you seem to know about it, where, and maybe that's the same as Bill Maher to me anyway. Like, I'm having a real hard time with people that I don't know where they're drawing this line. So yeah, I would ask the question too, like, if you're a Democrat and you're saying some of the things that Tulsi Gabbard's saying, I know she has because I've seen her on shows saying it, then why are you still a Democrat? That doesn't make any sense. But there is, I talk about a lot on my show, and I'm not saying I figured it out, but there's this, it's human nature or it's social media making it worse or whatever, but there's some weird compartmentalization going on. Because it's like, I do the same thing with Bill Maher. It's like, dude, he'll say stuff and you're like going, yes. I feel like I remember when I was a liberal, like going, I made fun of this stuff too. But then they just stop short of it. It's like there's still something else that they want. And I don't get it. So yeah, I would have to say the same thing there. I guess my first question to Tulsi Gabbard would be, why are you a Democrat? What is that? What's the purpose? Is she trying to save something there? I don't know.
She is. Well, she's the only one.
We really need to stop looking at the political party line and just do what's right. That's the problem, is there's too many people that were raised either one side or the other, and they're going to do what that side does for life because that side is doing it. And that's why we are the way we are. They're not doing what's right for the country and for the people. They're just doing what's right for the party. And the parties on both sides, in my opinion, are completely whacked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a consolidation of power there that's just not. It doesn't seem to benefit the most of us. It seems to just benefit the people who are in charge of that stuff. Yeah, really. I don't get that either, because how in the world can you divide 350 million people into two groups? I mean, there's so much more diversity in it, everything that we do and think, and that's what I want America. That's what I want a free country to be. I love that stuff. But do the shit you want to do, as long as you're not infringing on somebody else's freedom. Great. I mean, that kind of variety, that kind of diversity does often breed the most innovation. I don't think it's any wonder that America usually is the biggest innovator, and free countries and free places are. Yeah, so then try to like reconcile like what you're saying. Yeah, why? So we just have two parties. I mean, how much sense does that make unless it's working to fulfill some other agenda, and that agenda is not helping the most of us. So then the question becomes, what do you do? Because of these third party, we're so ingrained in two party, the third party usually only works to screw up one of the other
Right.
parties in the election. So
Right.
how do you get? I feel like, and this is very like lofty naivete, but if we could consolidate those moderate people in the country, that's your party. That's your third party. If you could somehow get those moderate people and say, are you sick of like this two-sided America? Let's find our common grounds. Let's not worry so much about the stuff that we have these vehement disagreements on, and let's try to run the country so that everybody has the most freedom to do whatever they want and be whatever they want to be and make whatever they want to make of their lives, and stop this other nonsense. I think if there was some momentum for that, I mean, again, that may be naive. And again, I feel like the modern conservative movement is as close to that movement as we have right now. But
Right.
unfortunately, it's too associated with everything that people feel like is associated with Republican. And unfortunately, liberals have a really bizarre version of what they think of most conservative Republicans. It doesn't matter which one they consider. Rhino, extreme. They're all white supremacists, Nazi, transphobes. I don't understand it. I don't yes, domestic terrorists. I don't see it. I don't, I grew up in rural Oklahoma. I didn't see it. I don't know where these people are. I know they exist, but
yeah, and I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Montana, so I'm the same way.
Right. Like, it's like, where are these people? Like, I know they exist, but you have to really be looking. And even when you run into them, it's really weird. Like, I studied a lot on the Charlottesville thing. And the new, like, even the weirdos that try to rebrand neo-Nazis and whites, dude, they're not even like, they're nothing to be afraid of. They are a bunch of goofballs, and they're like, the Flat Earth Society has more people than these people. And they're nothing to be afraid of. It's just not, they're not a threat. They're certainly not, they don't merit the president of the United States calling them the biggest terror threat. Absolutely no way whatsoever.
Declaration of war. That's exactly what that was. Declaration of war.
Mm-hmm.
And some people were saying that it was calling war on half the population. No, it's calling war on more than 75% of the population, because more than 75% of the population is ordinary people like me and you who think straight and don't just follow the tribal guidelines.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
They just didn't feel it necessary to go out and vote. Like I was telling Brian earlier today, let's say there was 81 million votes for Biden. Let's say that was 100% legitimate. That was all they could ever dream to muster. That was every last man they had.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, no. 81 million of 330 million, that's not half. That's way less than half.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it is, and it belies their actions after the fact. So you guys are so confident that 81, this guy Biden got more votes than any president in history. You're so confident that you now have to turn around and deplatform and cancel and tell everybody else that they need to shut up, and you can't say anything about the election. Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. What are you worried about? Like, you have the majority of people, which I personally don't think that they do. I think you might agree with me on that. But, like, if you did, what are you so worried about? Why can't people just say, hey, I thought that was bogus, whatever?
Right. Well, they did it. I mean, look what they did after Trump was voted.
Right. And remember,
that's all the stink they made.
It's a false equivocation, because when did Trump and when did any conservative?
Somebody now says something about this election being crap, and
Yeah.
you're out of your mind. You're a lunatic.
Yeah, and when did Trump or when did any conservative people try to ban that? That's what I'd like to know.
Right.
When did anybody say you can't say that Russia colluded with Trump because that's dangerous? That invokes all the crack pipe George Floyd riots that are about to happen. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't say it, because that makes people mad. Nobody did that. So again, like we're having the little column of freedom versus not freedom, and Trump gave me my freedom,
and that's really all you got to look at now.
Yeah,
when especially coming up, who is for freedom and who isn't. I mean, it's pretty clear on who wants to control you and who doesn't right now.
Especially
it's right in your face. It's obvious
when
everything.
When the Terminator is going on live television and telling people screw their freedoms, we've reached a fork in the road. So
right.
we've now got a lot of people who really are against freedom. Like the argument's over. What are you talking about? Screw your freedoms.
Yeah, I have people always tell me, I have people always arguing with me, telling me I still have that freedom. I'm like, you're right. I still do have that right because God's the one that gave it to me, not freaking man. But the one thing that I'm trying to get clear that everybody understands is, yes, I will always have that right no matter what. But it's a matter of whether or not you're going to be punished by the government for using that right or exercising that right.
Right.
And that's one
thing. Think about it. I mean, like, you own a house, right? You have to pay taxes to the federal government every year for a house that you own. That's not freedom.
Yeah.
It's not freedom. You're paying them for every single thing you do. And now you go buy a gun with a credit card, and now it's being tracked because the credit card companies are tracking every purchase for anything gun related now. That ain't freedom.
Yeah, there was a billboard that I saw down in Houston years ago that said it was a picture of a guy holding a baby that was just born, and it looked like a guy in a suit behind him says, "Welcome to the world. You owe us now $800,000."
Yep.
That's about right. I don't know where they got the number from. That's probably about right too.
I got a question for you too. I want to hear because I haven't talked to you about this, Vern, and I definitely haven't talked to you about this whole student loan bullshit, where they're going to pay. Now, I got student loans. Kaylin's got student loans, right? My student loans were federal student loans that were sold to a bank. So now if they go and pay off $10,000 of everybody's student loans, not only am I paying for all of my student loan, but now I got to pay for your student loan.
Right.
And I'm not getting a break. So what do you guys think of this? I think it's BS, man. You took out the loan. You agreed to pay it. Regardless, pay it back. Why do I have to pay your shit off?
Well, I think if you're going to make me pay for it, then you let me decide what you go to college for.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's another thing where I think it's just buying votes.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's
just a drop in the bucket for most people on student loans. You know what I mean?
Right. I think it is the difference of
if you spent $300,000 to go to school and you can't make enough money to pay your student loans, then that's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
was
that
my go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Well, no, I said I think that we're talking about the line of the two different freedom, non-freedom cultures that we're talking about. I think freedom means you take the responsibility, you are accountable. So that may mean that you lose, That may mean that you get a loan and you sign for a loan that's a crappy loan. And, and I do think that we can be conscientious about how we set up our kids going into college. I do think college is a scam. And I do feel like, a lot of kids, it's made way too easy. Just like, hey, you just get this loan and go to school and then and I do think to a certain degree, they are taking advantage of some people. But that is part of life. That's part of how you grow. That's part of how you learn stuff. And if you sign on the dotted line, it's a hard lesson learned, but that's the risk of freedom. Like I want the freedom to make that mistake, and I'll live with that mistake. But as soon as you take it away, as soon as you go, okay, well, I'm going to use the government to take away your responsibility. Isn't that nice? Like, I'll just give you the thing. And it's a nightmare. And but kids
they want the
don't
freedom,
understand that.
They want the freedom to do it, but not the responsibility when it becomes a mistake.
But that's not freedom. Yeah.
Right. Here was my rant about that when I started hearing about the student loan relief. So, as a former Trump derangement syndrome sufferer, would you say that they're kind of those college educated, kind of like elitist snobs to a point?
Oh God. Yeah, and this is something I ran on a lot, which is the public education system, and it doesn't stop in universities. So yeah.
And they like pushing that degree out there. They're better than you. They're better than you. They're better than you. Right. So here's my point. Here's my question for them. If you are so damn smart, if you are so educated, you are so much smarter than me, the one that doesn't have a high school diploma. Yeah. You see this truck? It's mine. It's the second one I own. If you are so smart, why are you relying on me, the uneducated, to pay your freaking bills?
Right.
This is true.
You're a smart one. Yeah. You should have the money, right? I'm the uneducated that shouldn't have any money.
Yeah.
Well, because they give degrees for underwater basket weaving and crap like that. What the hell are you going to do with that in the real world? I mean, there is literally professional college students.
Yeah.
They just go and go and go and go and go and never live a real life. They just keep going to school.
To me, part of how they could at least like shore up, like not taking people for granted, to me, it's like a really easy thing. You know, when you're going to college and you're picking a career, they should have to give you something like in a big, bold print that says, here is the stats on your career choice. So that when you do choose underwater basket weaving, they can be like, oh, by the way, literally nobody makes a living underwater basket weaving. So if you continue past this point, you're just wasting. You want to be a professional college student. If they could do that, I think, then it would be fair. Then at least they told you. They said, look, you signed up for this class. We told you only 0.5% of the population actually made a living doing this, and you still did it. But overall, the university it's a scam. I mean, it's just an absolute scam.
Student
and you're right,
Vern. So easy to get. Nobody gets turned down. So the colleges know that, and they just keep raising the tuition because they know you can get a loan for it.
Yeah. Yeah, so and Vern's right.
It's more expensive to go to school.
These are not,
and a lot of people's apparently.
Yeah, if schools worked, these should be the best and brightest. These should be our smartest people. I wouldn't trust college professors to change my light bulbs. They're not. I mean, it's just they're just not. They're not smart people. You have people like Vern or other people who are going, you know what? I'm just going to use the freedom that I have to make my own life, and they couldn't do that in a million years. They couldn't, that's the thing I was so impressed about Hagerstown. Like that sort of thing that it was so natural to everybody. Everybody figured out how to take care of everybody. You didn't really want for nothing. I can't imagine a bunch of college professors being able even to do that. I don't think they would have any idea how to stay out there at Hagerstown the way the convoy did. I don't think they'd have any clue.
No, I agree. There's no way.
It was a moment of pride to me to see the elite of snobs depending on me to pay their bill when they looked down on me all these years.
Yeah.
Like, it pisses me off, but it makes me feel important. So you need me. Oh, I
Oh
see.
God.
You
Yeah,
need
they
me.
do.
The uneducated, unwashed, the deplorable, the terrorists.
No, they do, whether they know it or not, and more people need to understand that. Yeah, oh God, the kids would honestly probably just be better off without the public school system or the universities, honestly.
Yep.
It is weird. It is an inflated um, um, need or an inflated necessity. We really don't need them, but man, they get primo prices. Uh, uh, Tuition is ridiculous. Going to school it can cost you a mortgage payment or more. Like a whole house. For what? Like, what's the result? I don't know it. What is the
Well,
result?
I have some people that wanted to say hi to you guys. Jen and Jeff said hello, Adam. Jen and Jeff also said hello, Brian. Uh, Here's a good point. Dennis Kerr, 512, said, I thought the president doesn't have the authority to forgive any loans. That is true. He does not have the authority to do that. And even if they went through Congress, I don't think they can do it through Congress
He's going
because it's a
around Congress.
conflict of interest.
He's trying to go around Congress.
Yeah.
Not
Isn't
go
it
through.
by give him tax credit or something like that? If I remember right.
Well, I think what he's doing is saying he's going to do it. Whether it actually comes to fruition or not is yet to be determined.
Yeah.
They've said if it goes to court that there's no way he has the authority to do it, but that's not going to stop him from saying he'll do it and trying to do it. I mean, look at what they've done and what they've gotten away with doing. They're not being held accountable for anything. They do whatever they want and they get away with it.
Oh, and if the Supreme Court does rule that they can't do it, they'll just make another reason why to pack the courts.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and they're going to do it in ways where they use that money they set aside for whatever they want to use it for, and that's going to be what it gets used for. I mean, did you see the stuff now where they've told the military personnel that can't afford to feed their families, you're not going to get a raise, go get food stamps, but we can send billions of dollars to Ukraine?
Yeah.
How does
And none to
any
our
of that-
border.
how does any of that make sense? And it's our money that they're sending to all these places, but yet we can't do anything about it.
Well, we are doing something about it. That's why we're on here talking. Nobody else wants to bring it up. Everywhere you look, if you listen to podcasts and stuff, with the exception of maybe Tim Pool, he generally does go off the beaten path quite a bit, talking about things that matter that nobody else is talking about. But in general, they're talking about whatever the mainstream media is talking about. You can't make any headways that way. You're just on the defense.
Yeah.
Well, and that's all a
And
distraction from what's really going on. All of that,
It can be.
all of it is a distraction.
whatever
So
the
they can
mainstream
pass
media,
these laws and bills in the middle of the night when nobody's watching, or these 2,000-page bills that get voted on when nobody has even read them, and they stuff all this crap in there that you don't see, and that's where these rhinos just vote. Why are you voting on something that you can't read and you don't know what the hell it is? It makes no sense. But how many times have they snuck stuff through at 2 a.m. and the next morning you start hearing about the things that they did while we're sleeping?
Yeah.
see, it's like what we were talking about last night. I was talking about how somebody had mentioned that Biden is funding more trade schools, because trade schools is one of the topics we had last night. And I said, that's one thing that people got to be aware of. having a little bit of funding in for trade schools. Okay, that's one little thing out of like the 99% of the other stuff was junk. Like I remember one time they were talking about defunding the police, and they gave more funding for police, which was the only good thing in the entire bill. But when Republicans said, no, we're not voting for that because 99.9% of the stuff in the bill was junk, all of a sudden the media came out and were like, Republicans don't want to fund the police.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're supposed to sell everything else down the river for that one good thing. And that's how they do it. Like, Biden's trying to fund more trade schools. No, he's not. He just added one little thing in there for the Republicans to go, oh, yeah, I like that, so I'll vote for it.
Right.
That's been going on for so friggin' long. It's ridiculous. It's almost laughable. They get a bill in there and they call it like this. The name of the bill is like, if you don't vote for this bill, you hate babies and rainbows or something. And then the bill is, to send $1 billion to study like, gay walrus mating rituals or some, BS or something.
And the frog's gay, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You like this. I love Rand Paul. I love how he's one of the only ones that I know who does it. Maybe other people do it, but he will just read out what's in the bills and also what we currently pay for, like stuff that just rotates around. And there's crazy crap in it like that, like the mating rituals of some, fish off the coast of some. He's like, why are we paying $1 million to do this stuff, guys? I think, while we're talking about it, like it makes me more aggravated at the complacency, because they're just going to keep doing it. This is no mystery, Brian, why they do it. They keep doing it because we let them do it.
Right.
They do it the next time over and over again. And we just go, and then we get on the show and we're like, yeah, they did it again, guys. They bent us over a barrel again. So I don't know.
You guys both know my opinion on what should happen. I'm not going to say it here, obviously, but I've told you both what I think needs to happen.
There's only 3 of us right now.
Right.
But if we could get like,
it's not 40? Because I want that to happen.
No, I know. No, but
it needs to.
You gotta. Look.
Gonna change.
We can. This is something I talk about on my show too. We can start talking about the line. This doesn't have to be like a scary, like, I'm declaring war. No, but you can sit there and talk about, guys, when do we? Because it makes you have to take account of like, okay, they took that away. They're taxing this. Every time a bill comes around, it's just crap that goes to, somebody's cousin or friend or whatever. It's all nepotism and oligarchy and BS. Where we can discuss, as we should, where's the line? Where do we, because I don't think it necessarily has to go from day one to, okay, tomorrow pitchforks and torches. I think you can say, you know what? Maybe now's the time for a protested legal show of force. What's wrong with that? Everybody strap up. Let's get organized, and we'll look. And the idea, like, we want to look as scary as hell. We won't do anything. Won't do anything illegal. But yeah, we're there to go, hey, we're here, guys. We see you. Like, we know you just signed that next BS bill, and took all that crap, And I think we can discuss that without it being a discussion about some sort of insurrection or some sort of overthrow. We're the people. Like, we're the people. So you got to say, hey, we're supposed to be holding you to account. So we're saying there's a line and we're telling you there's a line. We can't be more clear than that. You can't just take, you can't just be corrupt. You can't just, constantly, allow this stuff to continue going on and on. I think there's a lot of standing for most Americans. Yeah.
I have a really good question that was asked by Jen and Jeff. Said, Adam, how do we stop the writers, though? There was another question, another comment. No bill should cover more than one thing, and writers should be illegal. Honestly, I'm not too sure what they mean by writers.
right, like rioters in the protest, right? Like how do you
No,
how do
no,
you
Riders.
the right? Surely they
What
meant rioters.
in what context? Say that again, Vern.
Well, above that, they said, okay, so they were kind of holding a conversation that said, sell your soul for one positive thing. No bill should cover more than one thing, and riders should be
Oh,
illegal.
the lobbyists and all the extra crap they add into a bill.
Okay.
Is that what they're talking
Oh, you
about?
said so that'd be like lobbyists then. Riders be like lobbyists. Is that what you're
Like
talking
all
about?
the extra stuff they add into them.
I think this
And they're
is one.
asking, how do we stop the riders?
Yeah, I think this is one fundamental change that to me, I don't know how you do it. Everybody just has to be on board with it. But at least I gotta say, at least over in like the UK, they call it what it is. They just call it bribing. But we have to stop that crap. Like there should just be no tolerance for dirty money in the politics. The stuff that like Pelosi does when they know what's going on in the stock market and other people can make decisions that to me, like that should be that it should just be nothing. Like we should stop negotiating this. Well, can we do this thing? No, you're just a public servant. Like that's it. You don't get rich off this job. You go take your paycheck and you make life better for everybody. And then when you're done being a public servant, making life better for everybody, you can go get rich too, like the next, American asshole, because you did a good job and you've made, a fertile playing field for anybody to do that if you want to. But you don't get to just get rich being, Biden for 30 plus years. That's not okay. And so to me, that you stop it by just finally understanding that as soon as you cross that line and you start blurring those things, it's over. Like the corruption begins, and it's that absolute power corrupts absolutely. So it just has to stop. Like it just has to end.
I think if any one of us did the things that Nancy Pelosi does, it would be insider trading, correct? But
right.
She does it, and it's okay.
Right.
So, I mean, it's do as I say,
right.
not as I do.
And it's just
There's
just
a
has
good
to
conversation.
Stop. Yeah.
There's a really good conversation, Craig, going on at Rumble right now. It starts out with stop the once a year spending bill. Trump said shut it down. I agree. Saying one large bill, yes, line by line. You let the government shut down. I fully agree with that. Let them shut down.
Yeah.
Like what was
yeah.
it when Trump was president?
Cool.
The longest was like what, almost 2 months. The government shut down. Nobody missed them.
It was shut. The government was shut down when I was in the Marine Corps under Clinton. If it happens, it happens, man.
It's
Nobody.
I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's great because it shows everybody. Look, the government shut down. Ooh, I can't go to the park. Whatever. It's federally. But yeah, it's not that big of a deal. No.
I mean, it did affect me when I was in because I didn't get paid the entire time. Any federal government employee didn't get paid at the time. But if it changes some things that are going on, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like that's the function of the government. It's like it's a very gray, because you have the government at the top. Who watches the top? The founders tried to make a checks and balance system across the board. Great. But yeah, like if the government shuts down and everybody goes about their business, and what was the government doing? Like you have to have a function. So what is it's such a bureaucracy. It's like now flip that around. Now tell all the truckers, like, okay, truckers, y'all are shut down. Like the whole country stops, like, and that was, it's funny because that was kind of the point of the convoy. And I wish we'd have got to that point. I really do. But, so that's a pretty disparaging difference. You can shut the government down for months and nobody cares. You shut down like the trucking lanes tomorrow, everybody is going to be very upset. Like it's things come to a halt.
But there's still a lot of people out there that don't think that is the problem. I mean, I can count. I can't count how many people I've heard say, like, for instance, I don't need a truck. If I want something, I just order it off of Amazon. I mean,
Yeah.
How the hell do you think you get it? It comes on a truck or a plane, and then to a truck, but it eventually goes on a truck somewhere. You know?
Yeah.
But there's so many people that still think we're not needed. It's not a necessity.
Right.
They can just fly the shit in on a drone or something, which they are doing, by the way, in case you haven't seen that. Walmart is delivering shit with drones. Nice. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
I thought Amazon was supposed to do it. Wow.
So is that the modern day skeet shooting?
If it comes over my property, it is. You're damn straight.
All I can say is I own a lot more drones now. That's all I'm saying.
Are they working though?
I just like the props.
Yeah, Adam Beta's got, like, in his backyard, he's got a whole freaking scrap yard of drones sitting in his backyard, kind of like these old car pick-apart places.
Right?
They're going to need them. They're going to need them. They're going to need them with all the drones that Vern shoots.
You're just supplying yourself for right now.
I'll have a drone warehouse.
Well, especially where Vern lives. If there's a drone flying over where Vern lives, you know it ain't right.
Yeah. Exactly. They're also talking about earmarks for bills. I agree. One of the things that really made me mad, and I believe was actually unconstitutional, was the federal government giving money to states to pay their debts. That's like in direct violation of our constitutional rights, because like, one of the states was New York. I don't get to freaking vote in New York. I don't get to say who runs the government in New York. So why does my tax dollars have to pay for New York's freaking failures?
I don't think I think there's, and not enough people understand that, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I do necessarily either, but I mean therein lies the generic control that the federal government has over the states. I feel like in a way that they were never really supposed to. Crowder talked a little bit about it with the Department of Education, and it's like, I didn't even really, I'm so dumb, I didn't really even think of it that way until he was kind of talking about it. But it's like, yeah, like, that's, even though the Department of Education doesn't give schools the majority of their funding, like the majority of the funding, as far as I understand it, comes from the state, it's still a lot of power, because it's a lot of, I'm sure it's a lot of vacations, and it's a lot of bonuses, and it's a lot of other things. I think it's like 30%. So, again, this is a part of a bigger conversation I think we need to start having with people. Is that really doing us any good that they have that kind of control, when the whole idea was, the states have their, almost an inner sovereignty, and we can sort of see who's doing a good job and who isn't. We can, it's all those little petri dishes of freedom, and if it's consolidated, it's gone. If it's consolidated at the top, then there's no autonomy anymore. And I feel like I used to hear it, and I have to say it was part of my derangement. Maybe I didn't believe it, but it seems like that's the point, to consolidate the power, and that's it. And I don't care about that. I want the freedom.
I had to put that up there, just because
equals
somebody commented in there.
Gotcha. Riders equals
earmarks. So that, like, I never heard the term before, but I know what they mean by earmarks. So
yeah,
don't get all lawyer-ish on me. I'm just a dumb Amish hick truck driver. I'm a terrorist, insurrectionist. Don't expect me to understand this fancy language. And a racist.
And Adam, this is racist now, right? Holding up one finger, isn't that what they said about
No, this is.
They said the Trump rally, everybody was holding up one finger, and that's racist now too.
One race.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
My
Well,
one.
that's
My
why they
one.
use.
I
That's
mean,
because they used the wrong finger.
the
They're
flag
supposed to use the
behind
freedom finger.
the flag behind us is racist now. If you fly that flag, you're a racist.
It can be to some people.
Well,
It's
I
sad.
guess I'm very racist. I'm wearing the flag. I have the flag behind me. Um, Guess I am racist. Uh,
Me too.
Also,
Me too.
I gotta show you guys something. So for you guys that have not heard, you can buy this T-shirt if I can pull it the right way.
We all got to show our shirts now, right?
I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
one American.
And then I don't think you can see the
Oh, is that
bottom, but
your
it says
swag? Is that your swag, Vern?
on the bottom it says no party, no size, just God-given
I
rights.
think it is.
You
Yeah.
guys can buy that at my website. And
Is that
also
your-
I made it
is that
easy
your
for those
swag?
on YouTube. Huh?
Is that your swag?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my swag.
We
My
get
merch.
free swag for being on the show. Like Vern's gonna send us a care package. Like
You know, I might just do that. I might just do that.
Make sure you send some more salsa.
Send some more salsa. How many jars you need?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Kaylin. I'm never home to eat it.
Well, I don't know which one's her on here, so if she answers, I might know. She's probably hiding. There's something else gonna mention. Oh, and for the ones that are on YouTube, I do have. I just thought about this like this morning. Like I was always putting the link in the description of the YouTube so you can go to my Rumble. The easiest way to find my Rumble is actually going on to oneamericannoparty.com. There's literally a link that says Rumble on my website. I completely forgot about it. It's been there for like 3-4 months. Go to the website, click
You
Rumble.
set that up right after you left Idaho, didn't you?
Yeah, it was, huh?
You set that up right after you guys left Idaho, right?
Yeah.
Did you get any swag yet, Adam?
from Vern?
No. Do you have your own swag?
Oh no, I'm not that cool yet. I just have everyone else's swag. That's which is cool. I mean, I'm good with that too. No,
Yeah,
I haven't.
Kaylin's gonna start making my swag now.
Nice.
She made me a sticker the other day to put on my trailer. I forgot to grab it. And I was like, I woke up and saw it. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want to put that on my trailer, but I do. It says F Biden and F you for voting for him. And it's
Nice.
that big.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm like, yeah, she's having fun with that cricket machine, Vern.
I always like seeing them, but I gotta say, I'm a little weary sometimes about it, and it's not because I care that people know that I think that. It's just that I'll forget, and then you go into like a customer service situation, like where people are like fixing your shit, and you forget, and it's like you're like Trump won, and somebody's like fixing your salad, and I don't, like. I just don't want spit in my salad. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't care if they know what I think or whatever, but yeah. So that's the only thing I watch out for.
It's like you never yell at the fast food workers at the drive-thru till you have your food.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. No, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I do. Like, I put the protest shirt on under like a button shirt. And then when they hand me the food, I just go, Trump won, bitches! And then I get my food.
The costume comes off.
And then I can never eat there again. That's the one time that I eat at that place, and that bridge is burned. So
Well, thank God there's more.
They got any more questions?
Oh, let me see. Well, that's what I'm looking. Everybody kind of fell asleep on us here, I think.
Oh shit, it was me. I put everybody to sleep.
Do you know what's coming up? What's exciting to me is we do have a Renaissance Festival coming up close to us, and I go hard at the Ren Fest. So if you're listening and you're around Texas or even in the state over, I highly recommend the Texas Renaissance Festival. I will be there. You can come see me.
Hey,
We'll have a
he's
beer.
gonna be there. You guys can meet your favorite
Oh yeah.
celebrity. Oh, and Mona was saying earlier to ask if you're gonna go to her. What did she call it? She's having some kind of, I think she said, convoy to honor or something like that in Missouri.
Oh, okay.
November 5th, I think it is.
I didn't know anything about it.
You see,
I don't know
you
what it
see if
is.
she's still on here. Diana G8 says, I've been enjoying the chat. Good to see Adam Beta again and meet Brian Helms. Got
Hey
to meet
Diana.
Diana in Sacramento.
Did I meet Diana in Sacramento?
No, I did. I
Oh,
got to
you
meet
did.
her in
Oh, good. Oh,
Sacramento.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, she got to ride in the truck too, the Minion.
Yeah, I
Sweet.
didn't. I wasn't on that leg of the journey.
Yeah, you pussied out.
No, I wanted to come back, but honestly, I didn't agree with that move. I didn't agree with going to California, and I voiced that to you when you told me you were going. I thought it was the wrong move, you know, in my
Well,
opinion.
and now we find out it was kind of a lie on why they went. Like I kind of agreed on the premises that, California starts everything and if we can put it to a stop. But um what I found out later on is that was just kind of a lie. I mean, it was their whole intention was to go back to California to try to regain traction. And if I'd have known that, I don't think I'd have gone because of the fact that, well, for one, you're lying to me, and two, I if I look back now, they lost respect from the general public to where they weren't going to get the traction back no matter how far they drove.
Right.
And I think the intention was to go back and then slow roll back east to regain that momentum. But they already lost it. But then they just lied to us and say we were going to go there because California starts everything, and I was just like, why lie about it?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah,
Now,
I wish that was one of those times where I wish there was a grown up in the room that had said, these people are given like everything. So just tell them what you're doing. Like, even if it's like, I feel like that was a Hail Mary, then just say it's a Hail Mary. Just say, hey, look,
right.
guys, we're losing steam here and we're really sorry. And we know everybody's giving it all they got. And then even let them decide, like, maybe this is a good idea. Just it was always like this kind of convoluted, wishy-washy kind of thing. So
Well, and we lost a lot of steam up there, in my opinion, because we were sitting idle so much. You know what I mean? If we had gone out and done some of the things like you said, Adam, I think people would
yeah,
have felt like they were still doing something and maybe stayed, but
yeah,
the sitting around and not doing anything and it did get better when we started going into DC. I'll never forget that first day we rolled through the inner loop, you know,
hell
when
yeah,
we were bumper to bumper stopped forever. I mean, it was also the day that
it was
I
great.
led, which was really cool. But
Yeah,
I felt that day like, hey, we're actually making some noise now. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And do you remember the guys up on that road above us dancing?
oh my god, yeah,
It was
yeah,
amazing to see that on
oh
that
yeah,
outer loop. Yeah, we're driving. To me, didn't feel like we were doing anything.
right,
And I think a lot of people felt that way. And then we would come back and sit, and I know that the biggest turnoff for me too was the first night we rolled into Hagerstown. I get it, everybody wants to come out and see, and that's great. It was like a circus, but I didn't think it needed to continue for days and days and days, feeling like it was, they called it, what did they call it? Trucker stock.
yeah,
It
yeah,
felt like it was just a huge party that never
yeah,
ended. It was
yeah.
it was ridiculous. and it really
So,
turned me off.
Yeah. And
Obviously I stayed, but at
but there
first I
was
was
there
like,
was
this
no
is
one,
just,
like, I
it's
didn't understand
crazy. I mean, I
why.
want to meet the people, and I think it's a good idea to do that
Yeah.
for a day, but I don't know. I just think it went on longer than it needed to, and there was a lot of idle time, and people didn't think they were doing anything, and why are they going to sit there and go in debt and not be able to take care of their family to just sit
That's
around and
impossible
just
choice.
party.
Yeah.
there was
Yeah. Yeah.
what Jen and Jeff mentioned the idea of not of them limiting flags. So I remember when we first came into to Hagerstown that Saturday, I think it was. We had somebody that was complaining about the F Biden and the Let's Go Brandon flags. And he was saying, "Well, I'm going to leave because political, blah blah, political, blah blah." I said, let me ask you a question: how many overpasses did you go under that you were compelled to honk your horn and you waved, and how many of those overpasses did you not see an F Joe Biden flag under that overpass?" I said, "And if you remember even a one, which you probably can't, did it make a difference to you on whether or not you waved at him?" He's like, "No, actually, you have a point." See, here's what I think was the biggest destruction to the People's Convoy, and it's so for almost every conservative movement there is. Every time we have a movement that gets big like that, the left knows how to destroy us and you probably remember some of this, Brian. Um, One example was, oh, the Boogaloo Boys are here. We got to kick them out. The Boogaloo Boys are bad. So they kicked out the Boogaloo Boys. They had friends. They left as well. Oh, they
Yep.
had this guy with the Confederate flag hat. We got to kick him out. He had friends. They left as well. Oh, well, this guy had a gun in his pocket. We can't have that. So they kicked him out. He had friends. It was always the left that was pointing out a group, very small group of people, and they continuously tried to please the left to get the leftists to join them rather than rally the troops for the side that they know already supports them. They were trying to work too hard to get those that will never join them and please them by whittling away the odds just one at a time, small groups here and there. And within a matter of weeks, it was 150 people. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what destroys the entire movement is us trying to kiss their butt. Oh, see, we kicked the Boogaloo Boys out, so you should like us now. No, it's never going to be enough. It's always going to be the next person. Then they kick that one out, and he's got friends. Kick that one out, that one's got friends. It's just the way it is. And until we stop coddling to them and start saying, you know what, we don't care. This guy's on our side. We got the same end goal. We might think a little bit differently, but we got the same end goal. We're going to stick to it.
Well, they should have
It's
said,
the same concept as a black man and a white man fighting next to each other, if for the same battle. We came up and we got brought up in different backgrounds. We might have got brought up in two different areas of the world, depending on who you are. But in the end, it didn't matter. But they're going to try to say, well, that black man they might say to that black man, hey, that white guy hates you because he's white and you're black, and just try to sow division. That's exactly what happens.
yeah. Yeah, they should have said, no, we're not kicking these people out. We're inviting you down. That should have been the way it was going. Yeah, no, for those people, it's never good enough. And so many of those things were coming from the social media chat stuff, which was out of control. Again, there wasn't a grown up in the room enough to say, guys, we're not going to do anything based on what happens in the chat room. Like, that should have just been like, don't tell me what's going on in your chat room. I don't care. I don't care what like, that is for your channel. And we don't need to let anybody stir up stuff because, I mean, that was one of the first things that, like, it was nuts when I first got there, and I had been off social media for a while. So I was just getting back on it to do the live streaming. And I could not believe the level of manipulation that happened through the chat rooms, people going from live stream to basically to tell somebody else that so-and-so was going to meet them back at the place and they weren't welcome and somebody just kicked, but it took me all of like 3 days to go, oh, that's just bullshit. I'm not listening to you guys anymore. but
you handled the trolls very well in your chats too. The way you did it, you didn't,
which is just like there's no that you have no credibility with me. You are text on a screen. Like if you're a good person, great. But I don't know you, and if you really want to be involved, stop bitching on the text on the screen and just come down to Hagerstown or go do whatever you want to do and make your live stream or whatever. I think there was a misunderstanding about what that was going to do for the convoy, and I think they had it backwards. I don't think the live streams were ever going to like elevate the convoy to something. It was good to have them there just to know, hey, you can go watch and see what's going on. But the stuff happens first. The loop happens, the protest happens, the outreach happens, and then we live stream it. It's not, it became, to me, it seemed like the priority got toppled, not necessarily by any one person making the decision, but there was so much weight placed on, how the different directions the live streams were going and how many people were watching. And it's like, guys, I just don't think that we're ice skating uphill if we really think that the live streams are somehow going to elevate the convoy in the way that they thought that it was going to happen. In fact, I think it was more detrimental, honestly, looking back than helped us. We needed to do the thing. Like, forget the live stream, forget the numbers, do the thing. Do the protest, do the thing, and then if somebody live streams it, that's good, but it doesn't happen.
Somebody, Jen and Jess said exactly, the chat was where the problems were progressing. See, I kind of disagree with that, but I agree with it. Yes, there was a lot of talk going on in the live stream chats. The problem was not the fact that the trolls were on there talking about it. The problem was the fact that some of the people took what they were saying as legitimate. Like I don't know if you remember, this was when 1776 started. Soon after they started, somebody had promised to bring Subway in or something like that. They were the owner of Subway. They're going to bring him Subway for dinner, and they all just believed it.
Yeah.
And it was a freaking troll. That's the kind of activity that was the problem. It wasn't really the fact that the trolls were going to do that. They're going to do that. It was just the fact that we recognized it as, hey, they're saying they're going, we didn't verify it. And the reason I say this is because there's one time the trolls really, really got me pissed. Was because the one day, you guys probably heard about the Bandit story. Bandit is a pedo. They came into my chat. The people that were talking all friendly for the week prior to that came into my chat talking about how Bandit was a convicted sex offender. And I was like, hey, before you're going to talk about that, maybe we should verify it. Don't come into my chat and freaking talk about stuff like that and try to dox somebody without having freaking facts about it. Because I had no idea about it. The minute that I said that, they said I was a pedo defender. Just for the fact that I freaking wanted to verify it. Right. I was a pedo defender. It's not the fact that they were in there saying it. It's just we have to verify what they're saying. And I know there's some people that don't like coming over to Rumble, and I get it. We can't mod that yet. They're actually working on the chat now. They changed how we can actually view the chat now. But the one thing I wanted to point out is, and I kind of had this revelation of a sorts today about, we're always sitting there saying these leftists are snowflakes. These trolls are snowflakes. But yet we think we have to be on a platform and on a chat that has to be moderated so we can handle it. Who's the snowflake?
Yeah.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Because I know it's tough for me sometimes. So who's the snowflake? Me or them? Yeah. Because I think I have to be on one that has to be moderated. If this is, believe it or not, this is free speech.
Right.
Now, threatening somebody, that's different, but we have to learn to accept it. And I don't think Go
It
ahead.
goes back to the being offended thing. You're offended, get over it. I mean, we all have to.
And you can. Yeah, you're allowed to be offended. You
We
just a
all get
matter of how you
offended,
deal with
man.
it. Yeah.
Sooner or later, we all get offended about something.
Well, shoot, I look at you and I get offended.
A lot of people are offended when they look at me.
Just the
A
mirror.
lot of people.
No, I think you're right, Vern. Like I would amend my statement just because of what you said there. It when I said it was chat, yeah, it's the way people react to that stuff. Like that when I said like in 3 days, I figured out, I was like, oh, this is just crazy stuff. And so you just, they say what they want to or whatever, but I'm still watching other live streamers and I'm still watching around Hagerstown where they're getting worked up about something that's spreading around in chat. And it's like, why are y'all reacting that way?
And that was the reaction they wanted.
Right.
That's
right.
why they were doing
absolutely.
it. They wanted that reaction.
Hi, Golden Renaissance Production. I remember that's my bud. We helped each other.
Yeah, I seen him in there. I was trying to get him over to Rumble. I know he has a Rumble. Like I don't want to sound too harsh because I know some of them in here have mentioned things to me about not wanting to go to Rumble because it's not like. Please understand, I'm not calling you a snowflake. I'm simply also challenging myself. If I can't handle it, I'm also a snowflake. Now I do get it. There was a guy on here yesterday was outright celebrating Ashley Babbitt's death. That right there will piss you off. It doesn't matter. It won't offend you. It'll piss you off if you love this country. And that's what it's intended to. And to me, I don't care if I fell for it because it's supposed to piss you off. Like, that's one of those things. There's a few things that has happened since I've been doing live streaming. One was calling me a pedo defender, and the other one was them celebrating Ashley Babbitt's death. Those two things right there, I don't think is me falling for the trap. It's an actual human reaction that should happen. It should happen because something like that is so despicable that it needs a response. You can't just ignore it.
I mean, I think people, I think especially when it comes to like text and comments and the chat, I think that's what's so great about them, honestly. As much as I, like I'm sitting here saying, I took them like way too seriously. I'd been away from social media and I'd get back on there and they're playing me like a puppet, just in the first 24 hours. But then once I figured that out though, yeah, it's like, to me, it's like you can hide behind your keyboard if you want. And if you want to like type in, like people typed in the most despicable stuff in our chat room and stuff. It's like, you're the one doing it. Like, I know people, my advice is, to anybody is just don't let that stuff, even if it's the worst thing that they're friggin' saying, like they're the ones that put their hands on the damn keyboard and decided that was a good idea. I don't know why. We had, Brian, you remember some of the crazies we had that come and just say crazy stuff. It was just crazy. I think it was easy enough.
With most of it, you didn't.
I don't think there's any reason to. I think there are people who get mad about it, and it's like, you know what? It's not. I don't even think that's good because as soon as you get mad about it, they're doing exactly what
they win.
They want you to do. Whereas, some of them, what was funny though, was weird though, is if I didn't, some of them would like actually that veneer would come down. And they would actually start having a conversation with us. So we're talking about a person who would come in the room and be like, Brian's got, a giant dildo collection and he does, this, that, and, he puts them in this. And they were just saying crazy stuff. And that's all they would say. Like, wouldn't talk to anybody. Just like, here, my next comment is about more dildos. And then, we would just sort of, go, oh man, that's crazy. But after like a couple of weeks, nobody, was like hating on him or anything. Then this person who talked about dildos straight for 2 weeks was finally in the conversation. And that was a win to me. I was like, even if it just happened that one day, it's like, cool, man. Yeah. Have a conversation, like take it seriously.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That was definitely
like I've said before, and I will continue saying it, and I'll always stand on this. I do not have a problem having my enemies on here. There are some characters, I won't mention their names tonight, but the people in the chats know who I'm talking about. Golden Renaissance knows who I'm talking about. I don't like them. I think they're despicable people because of what they've done, all based on that bandit is a pedo thing. But I'll have them all my life as long as we can have a conversation. The minute it becomes a screaming match, a cussing match, a yelling match, you're going to get muted or booted off. But I don't have a problem having a conversation with the other side because that's what's needed. As long as you
Yeah.
want to have a conversation. Now,
It is.
like I said, it's going to be one of those where if you're going to be a cussing, screaming, and yelling, you're not going to be allowed on here. And actually, I was kind of thinking about maybe in a couple of days, maybe doing just a live where anybody can come on here and chat if they want. But yeah, I'm kind of like you. I'll have anybody on.
I just want to mention Brian and I, neither one of us are wearing pants, just in case that bothers anybody. Brian's total free
It was
balling.
my idea.
Yeah, just to, it's the bitch boys, man. Booyah.
I'm not wearing pants, underwear, or a bra. So,
Oh, I'm wearing a bra, just not properly.
I need a bra.
okay, it's coming to the after hours show.
Sorry.
Uh,
Oh my god. Oh man.
Yeah, I got socks. I'm good with socks.
is that
Must
all
be
you're wearing?
after
Is
dark
shirts and
now.
Socks?
Yes.
Hey, Golden Renaissance, you want to come on?
You can
I don't see him anymore.
I know he popped in there. I like Golden Renaissance. He was a good dude.
I tried to get him to come on to Rumble, but he didn't come on to Rumble. Brian, this message is for you. Your daughter is grossed out.
Oh, oops. Yeah.
Which one? Which one?
That was the one that I think Sadie had used.
Sadie?
K. Kyle.
Yeah, I don't know if they're both watching or if just Sadie is. Sadie
Just
just
keep
sent
the
me a
camera.
text.
Just
Sadie
don't
just
take
sent
your
me a
camera
text.
and go like this.
Sadie
Right,
just
like
sent me a text and
Something
said
with a fall.
it says you're sus. That's all she
Huh?
said. Sadie sent me a text and it says you're sus. S-U-S. Sus. That's all it says.
The little one. Yeah, she said the little one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Sadie. Love you,
Oh,
Sadie.
LKW Cross said, I'll let you have one of mine, Vern.
One of bras?
Yeah. This is no longer the Rumble or the YouTube show. This is now a fans only
Oh my lord.
or only fans or whatever the hell it's called.
They always go that way, don't they, eventually?
That's pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was that thing that was going around before I left TikTok? There was this thing going around where people were saying, yeah, my wife's OnlyFans is the one that paid for my house. But when she finds out she has an OnlyFans, she's going to be pissed.
I saw that. I saw that.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't know about the whole OnlyFans thing. I didn't even have a clue what it was. Kaylin had told me what it was. I didn't know. I had no idea.
I didn't either until I created an account. I mean, I didn't either until I no, who was the guy? It was
Until you created
off of the Blaze. Elijah Schaefer had a guest on, and it was rather unique type of guest, and they were talking about OnlyFans or fans only or whatever the hell it was. That's the only reason I knew what it was, because they were talking about it.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Please
By the
insert
way,
50
Sadie,
cents to the side of your device.
By the way, Sadie says you guys are both sus too. Just
Oh,
so you
we're
know.
both sus.
Yeah. That's my
Well,
other
no,
shirt.
no,
Says, I
no.
am sus.
I'm not sus. I'm not
That's
sus
the
because I'm wearing
lingo.
socks.
That's the lingo, you know, with the kids these days. Sus.
I think I know what
Yeah,
that one
sus.
means. Yeah.
Suspicious.
Yeah.
It-
Suspect.
Hell yeah.
I always sit and wonder. I wonder if my parents thought the way I think about the way my kids talk. I wonder
Yeah.
if they thought that they had to have thought that about me too. Like they had to think
Yeah.
the things that I was saying, like what was it, totally rad or tits, you know, when I was
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm much older than you, I think, Vern. So I don't know. You're Kaylin's age, right?
I think so, or else she was younger than me. I can't remember.
And I'm pretty sure Adam's even a little younger than I am too, aren't you?
I don't know. I'm in my 40s. I'm in my mid 40s.
Yeah,
Oh shoot, you're older than I thought.
I'm in my
Thank you, Vern.
mid 40s.
Mid. I'm going on my mid. My extra.
Well, if we go off of how you act, you're about in your mid 20s.
Yeah, so that's how I judge Brian. It was a maturity level to me. So as far as I'm concerned, you're 12.
Right. and Samantha says we're all weirdos. I just got a text from her. So apparently they're all watching.
Hey, Helms.
Breaking
It's the
Spectre
Helms.
said we were sus and shady both.
Yeah.
Wait, well, they must be all typing off the same account, but I think it was your wife that said I'm younger than her. I'm 33. I think that's about right too.
Oh, you are
I don't remember.
younger
She
than her.
told
Yeah.
me.
You're a little younger than her. I think we decided that I was the oldest one in the room.
Maybe. Are you the oldest one in the room?
I think I am.
I'm at 78. March of 78.
I'm 75, so I'm
there
definitely
you go.
the oldest one in the
There
room.
we go. Bam.
Yeah.
Oldest and the wisest.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Now, tell me, Brian, is that one of the flags you flew in the convoy that's behind you? It looks
No,
like a little flag.
those are at home. I kept those at home. They're not very well together anymore, and I'm gonna do something with them. I did keep them at home. I flew them, you know, as long as I could once I left the convoy, until they were about ready to fall off, and then I took them off because I didn't want to lose them, and I put them up, and I bought some new ones.
Yeah, because I was gonna fly them, fly flags the whole time I'm driving, and quickly realized the quality flags I was buying only lasted about a week.
Yeah,
So
that's why I put it inside.
I have to either find a different place to fly them where they're not flopping as much, or just kind of fly it from time to time kind of deal. Because I was going through flags like crazy.
You had yours up on the top,
always
right?
Up top, yeah.
And I had mine. I had mounted those flagpole stands behind the sleeper, and it works great when I'm bobtail. But when I got a trailer, you can't turn; it'll break the flagpoles.
Yeah, that's right. You had the one sticking out of the catwalk.
Right, and I was gonna put them on the bars on the trailer, on the back, and I don't know. Maybe people can voice their opinion. I haven't really decided if that's disrespectful or not. You know what I mean?
Have it on the back of the trailer?
Yeah, because they're going to be laying against the door most of the time, and I really want to do it, but I'm kind of cross between whether I'm okay with it or I'm not. You know,
just get a vinyl like I do, so you can get out and fly them.
Well, I still want to get the vinyl like you have from your sister. You know, on the one, the Tyranny one.
Yeah.
I still want to
That
get
way you
that
still got the
on.
flag.
But I've got Kaylin now that she's got her machine. She's making me stuff, and she's making me one that I'm having her doing orange, glow in the dark.
Yeah.
That's a fat trucker on a stripper pole.
Oh my God.
And it
What
glows in the dark.
And it says, if I can't remember exactly, maybe Kaylin can type the words, but it basically it says if I'm out here stripping, it's because fuel's too expensive, and it's this fat truck driver stripping on a pole. It's so cool.
That reminds me of the one vinyl I seen on somebody's minivan. I think it was some kind of SUV or something. On the back, it had like the silhouette of a pretty fat guy, sort of laying down in a very suspicious manner, and it said, "If he ain't chubby, he ain't hubby."
Well, and I told you when I was at your house or your sister's house that I wanted to do the whole Biden Harris with the dog pissing on it thing, like everybody does when they don't like something, the dog's pissing on it. Well, we were driving around town the other day, and it was one that said Biden Harris, and a dog was taking a crap on it. And I was like, oh, that's genius. I've never seen that before. So I don't know. I might get in trouble because I'm having her do all these stickers that I'm sticking on the trailer. But
well, at least she got the cricket now.
Yeah, she's starting to do a lot of stuff with it. She's having fun with it, and she'll be able to make a little bit of money with it too.
Does she have a store that we can promote?
We haven't created it yet. I need to get it done. It's hard, man. I'm hardly ever home. I work, and lately it's been a lot of sitting around because of mechanical issues and loads, and the loads are paying so bad that I do a lot of sitting because I'm not going to move freight for free. I'm just not going to do it. So I sit around a lot, and that's the worst part is, like when I was talking to you and I was in Dallas and I was sitting there, I'd sat there for a week. That's a week I could have been at home with my kids and with Kaylin. And no, I'm sitting in a damn crappy truck stop in Denton, Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
truck stops are never a good place to.
That's the thing that people don't understand about this job, I think. Most people don't understand what we go through to provide for them. The things that we miss out on and we do so that they can have everything that they want and need.
Oh, but the argument's going to be, well, nobody asked you to do it. But then at the same time, you had people that were nonstop saying, you guys need to quit driving around wasting gas and go start delivering freight. I'm like, first of all, I don't use gas.
Right.
I'm sure you got those on your live all the time, Adam. I'm sure you did.
And honestly, we didn't use a lot. I didn't use a lot of fuel the time that I was there. I don't even think I used a full tank of fuel the entire time I was there.
Really?
No.
Yeah, we got that a lot. People are like, y'all are wasting gas just driving around. Yeah.
Well, at least we were doing something. We weren't sitting at home bitching about it and not doing anything. We were trying.
Like they were.
We were trying to do. I seen a TikTok. It says, basically the guy's talking to his family and he says, "Don't hate me when I'm gone. I'm doing the best I can with what little talent I have." He's a truck driver. And we were doing the best we could with what we had, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it opened my eyes to that, to what you're talking about as far as it is kind of like, I don't know if it's an American thing or just the modern thing that it's like, everybody wants the stuff, but we don't want to see how it happened. and we don't want to see like
Right.
what you're going through. We don't
You
want to
want the
see.
hamburger, but you don't want to see the cow get slaughtered.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't. I think that's that's not a good thing. I think you need to be aware of where stuff's coming from. Um, and the fact that like it's so funny because that is a left kind of liberal, or was sort of a left liberal sort of ideology, which is the people, take care of the people should be in good working environments, and when to have to be with the truckers and like hear about that kind of lifestyle and how nobody what it's like, drive and deliver the stuff, but then nobody wants to see you. Like Saznak, I think actually Saznak said that like one time, and it really kind of hit me that it's like, that's kind of true though, isn't it? It's like, you're an annoyance on the road, and they're in big vehicles, so you can understand why people are like nervous and stuff, but it's like you're annoyance on the road, your annoyance at the gas station. When you're done, go back in this dark parking lot behind the truck stop, but give me all my shit, please. Make sure that happens,
Right.
but then just disappear somewhere.
Well,
Yeah.
and the shippers
And that's one thing.
The shippers and the receivers are the same way. You can't park here. We don't want to see you. Just show up, get our shit, and leave.
Yeah.
We don't care if you don't have a place to
And
park.
The logistics.
The other argument too. Well, the other argument too is, well, you don't own the road. That's not really the point. Do I come to your office and pester you and cause you to lose time? This is my workplace.
And to be quite frank, the IFTA tax, I mean, I pay a lot of IFTA tax so I can drive on those roads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With few exceptions, most people don't pay for every mile that they drive on a road. We do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Every single mile we drive on a road, we pay.
Oh, that's the other thing that blew my mind. You talked a lot to me about that too, Brian, was the different ways they, the changing of the systems, how they, y'all are basically like digitally tracked. That blew my mind. Like I had and I think a lot of people don't know that, they don't understand that. Talk about like another, like on the face of like bureaucracy stepping in and making things worse where it really didn't need to be. But that's such a, that was, it didn't surprise me, unfortunately, because I guess I'm cynical or realistic or whatever, but I was like, you got to be kidding me. Screw 7 ways to Sunday.
When I started driving, when I first started driving a truck, cell phones weren't a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They really weren't. Most people didn't have a cell phone. Whenever you went to a truck stop, there was real restaurants for one thing, which there isn't anymore. This is the most unhealthy lifestyle, and driving a truck is a lifestyle. It's not a job. It is a lifestyle, at least for the people who really want to do it and aren't just out here to do it because that's the only thing they can do, which there's a lot of people now, and they're the problem, in my opinion. But you would go sit down at a restaurant, bullshit with all the other drivers, and there was a payphone right there, or a telephone at the table, and that's how you talk to your dispatcher, your loved ones, and the rest of the time nobody knew where you were. Period.
Right.
They didn't know. And now,
hey Don, see you there.
The shippers want to track you, the receivers want to track you, the brokers want to track you. In my opinion, and I love the internet. I'm one that loves the internet, man. I always have. I built my first computer when I was 16,
Nice.
But I think the internet has done more bad things than good in a lot of ways.
Yep.
The only good thing about a cell phone is I can video chat with Kaylin and the girls. You know what I mean? And I can keep in touch with them all the time. Other than that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't stand it. I agree. Hate cell phones. It used to be if I'm not home, man, sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago. Like I know it's kind of a weird turn here to talk about that, but it just wasn't that long ago, and we don't take enough time to think about how this new generation with the social media cell phone generation will be a different kind of human being. I mean, they already are, and so that gap of cultural disparity between like if we could help them understand that there are certain things that we're more comfortable with because we did grow up in a day and age where we just get dropped off, and if you use the payphone, but you might not reach anybody. You just were supposed to
Right.
call at certain times, and we all managed it. They don't have to do that anymore.
Do you remember? And this may. Do you remember? Did they have when you were a kid? Did they still have party lines? You grew up in
Yes.
Oklahoma, so like all your neighbors
Yeah.
used the same telephone line.
I think
Like you would
so.
pick up
Yeah.
the phone
Yeah. I
and
mean,
then
just
make a
you
call
just
and
say that.
somebody's talking.
Right. Right. I don't think we did, but I think I was in that overlap where I'd heard people that's exactly what it was. I remember like that was a big deal. Like we had a Darth Vader speakerphone, and we'd call grandma and grandpa or somebody on it, and we'd all as a family we'd sit around in front of a landline phone and just talk to some relative we hadn't talked to in a while. And yeah.
I didn't even have that. I had to run to their neighbor's phone booth. The internet? What do you mean internet? We had pigeons
I I
and
I love
newspapers.
I love my girls to death, but I really hate how they have to grow up.
Yeah.
I
No,
hate this world that we're in now.
I can't.
But
Yeah.
I loved
not
how I
okay.
grew up, man.
Yeah.
During the summer, I said goodbye to the parents in the morning, and I came home when the street lights came on, man.
Right. Right.
And they didn't worry. They didn't have to worry about me. You
Yeah.
know, my daughter walks to the store down the street, and I'm freaked out because there's so many freaking creeps now.
Yeah. No, and you learn so much in living that way, whereas you have, most kids really they live in a digital bubble, and stepping outside of that, it gives them a lot of anxiety.
Well, and to be honest too, when we were kids, if we had a bully at school, I don't remember ever having a bully that picked on me, but if there were bullies, they picked on you where at school, you went home, it was over and done with.
Right.
Now, with the digital, it never stops. Man.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's horrible.
Kids don't get a break.
I was not like I did not have a great self-esteem. I was not self-conscious like any kid growing up. I can't imagine this crap where like you say, like something would happen. It might be embarrassing that day, but you go home, it's done. If something happens to your kids nowadays, they've taken pictures of it. It could be on social media. There could be a thread comment. It's like, wow, man. And
A guy can be getting beat up. A guy can be getting beat up rather than calling the police or helping them out. They're sitting there videotaping it.
Or a guy's going around town shooting people live on their Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It to me, this is why it shouldn't be important, but the reality of it to me is it's not important. That's why we're kind of screwing ourselves over and over and over again, because it is a marketing algorithm. That is what it is. It is made to sell you stuff, and we keep using it like it's a communication system. It's destroying us. Like it's not. It's like we should be teaching our kids, look, if you want to communicate with your friends, get off social media, either go down and talk to them or just pick up the phone and use it as an actual phone and talk to them, and stay off of that crap, because it's not a communication app like you think it is, but I guess it looks really cool.
And I'm guilty of that. I'll be the first to admit it.
it's the Pandora's box has been opened. I don't know that we put it back in as much as we just say what it is and why it's hurting us. It's like it's hurting us because that's not what that app is lying to you. That's not what that app is used for. It is used to manipulate you. It is used to sell you an item this way or that. It doesn't care if you share stuff. It doesn't care if you're happy. It doesn't care if your self-esteem's good. All that stuff would be bad for a marketing app, right? Like if you felt like a confident person and you didn't, that would be bad for a marketing app. They wouldn't want that. Like why you're not going to be able to sell me anything because I don't care. I know what I want.
Right.
But these kids are being conditioned to hate themselves, hate their own biological sex, for God's sakes.
They're getting it from everywhere. They're getting it from the schools. They're getting it from the TV. They're getting it from cartoons. I mean, they used to talk about, I remember they talked about how violent cartoons were when we were kids.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, the cartoons that they have now are way more damaging to kids than a rabbit, getting hit on the head and not dying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, because they're dealing with they have to deal with a new total different demographic of human being and it's a very timely issue right now because what is appropriate to show to a 1 to 5 year old? What is appropriate to show to a 5 to 10 year old? They have all of it. We hand them a phone when they're born and they can get online and they can see all of it. So the kids think we're full of crap, as they should, because they're like going, y'all are trying to censor what I watch. I'm watching all of it right here on my phone. And so they think you're full of crap and you're watching, like you're saying, you're probably watching these new cartoons. And I'm going, what the hell is this crap that they're watching? Because they're marketing to kids that know more than they should know. And the damage is done. So they have to get them interested with other stuff. There's got to be these trans plots and gay plots.
There is another there is another guy that's starting to do cartoons. You might have heard of him on the Blaze. I think he's calling it Riptiverse, I think it is.
Okay.
You ever heard of Young Rippa 59 or something like that, or Rippa 59, something like that? Eric July. He's got his own comic book thing, and it's pretty successful. I think it's called Rippaverse or Rippa, something like that. Rippaverse. He's a contributor to Blaze, but I think what his comic book thing that he started, I think is independent of Blaze.
Okay. I'll have to check that out. I was just watching a story about. I feel like it's the same guy, but it's. I'll have to check it out and see if I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's like Rippaverse, something like that.
Rippaverse.
Or if we search Eric July, let me see here. I might be able to search it up right here.
Right. Yeah, Don makes a good point. Yeah, I see you, Don. We should actually start programming to appropriate age demographics.
Well, they do, I'll be listening to my daughter watching YouTube and the crap that I'm like, whoa, what the hell are you listening to?
I mean, remember we thought it was grown up too, right? Like it was exciting. Let's say the grown up stuff. But now
we had to work. We had to really work to see that crap.
Right. Because there was a boundary. There was a boundary that we knew, like we could go kind of pretend grown up, but we weren't pulling that crap in front of adults. But now it's so normal to them, like they're watching it, and those lines are being blurred, and I don't think that's good developmentally for a kid at all. I really wish there's a simplicity of codependence and independence that we need to get back to. And if you're a codependent, shut the F up. you're a codependent. Listen to your independent, people, and let them help you find your path to your independence. But as long as you're a codependent, stop saying you know shit, because you don't. Because the whole point, you can be smart all day long, but you have to figure out, this is the law of frigging nature. You cannot be like the pup that thinks they know everything. You're just going to get eaten by, whatever, comes along. You have to prove yourself. You have to work and fight and understand how to survive. And this is the same way for human beings too. So do it. And the kids, they're living longer, at the house. They're not getting married, until later. I just don't think this is like any, this isn't rocket science. I think this is a direct A to B. They don't know what to do when they're finally adults, because they've been, exposed to so much of this crap. They think they've got it all figured out. A little bit of respect, a little bit of gratitude, a little bit of hierarchy back in that system again. Because sometimes, look, we all need to be put in our place. Sometimes you need to be put in your place. Sometimes that's the thing that gets you going, oh, maybe I need to be put in my place right there. Grow up a little bit, Yeah.
Right.
And kids do need it more, than adults usually. That's the whole point. It's no big deal.
Well,
and I put this
knows
under the ticker,
you
under the
gotta
banner.
learn-
There.
Ripperverse.com. Okay, I got it.
you gotta
I'm not
learn
paid to
something
do
new
that,
every day.
just so people can check it out. All right.
So ripaverse.com.
I'm gonna have to cut this. Ripaverse.com. I'm gonna have to cut this off soon. So you guys ask your questions.
This was a lot of fun. Thanks for doing this, Vern.
It was. Yeah, we're gonna have to do it
Yeah,
again.
dude, I had a blast.
It's a lot of fun.
I gotta go take a shower and still drive 5 hours to San Antonio to get my APU fixed in the morning.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I
Hey,
thought
you're
I smelled
close,
something.
Brian. San Antonio. You're close. Pretty close.
Yeah.
You guys can
Well,
have a dinner date.
By
should.
the time I get there, I will have been up almost 24 hours. So
Ugh. Yeah. Where do you go after San Antonio, or where do you go after where you go?
I don't have a load. I'm going to San Antonio to get my generator on my truck fixed again.
Oh, okay.
It's like
So
it's like a never-ending story with this thing, man.
When you leave San Antonio though, where will you head? Which direction will you head? Or do you know?
I don't know. I won't know till I find a load.
I'll stay in touch with you and see which direction you're headed. Because I'll buy you lunch or something if you're swinging even close by.
I'll shoot you my number, Adam. That way you have it.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
LKW Cross said, ask Adam when he is going to do another video. We kind of missed those.
I'm sorry, guys. Look, I've been so busy these past couple of weeks, but it's been good. Like I got some good jobs going. I try not to mix the two for obvious reasons, for professional reasons. So I won't say too much about it, but it has to do with the esports stuff that I'm doing. And I've just been so busy. I apologize, but I'm coming back. I will hopefully be back at least for an episode this week, and then hopefully on maybe a more even kill. I've been trying to do at least 2 a week, but yeah, I tried to do it while I was doing this other job, and I just couldn't do it. So I apologize, but I'll be back at LKW Cross, and all you guys.
I enjoy how you always add some humor in there.
I try to, man. We gotta laugh. I mean, right? We gotta laugh at stuff.
We do.
Are you doing them strictly on Rumble now, or are you still trying to?
No, I'm on YouTube, and I do. Both? Yeah, I do the whole winky thing. I'm like, right, YouTube, like we know the 2020. I do all that stuff, and I stay on there. But I'm on Rumble and YouTube and Twitch, and I still get pretty good, the same pretty good, nice crowd every single time. And I like I said, if I can get one person to hear me and change their mind about it. Like, I think there's a lot of liberal and progressives out there. A lot of moderates they maybe consider themselves moderates, and they're out there, man. They're like me, and they used to be in that situation, and they just need somebody. They need some perspective. And there was one thing I wish I wish they could. To me, like the easiest one is almost like great, because this whole idea of white supremacy being an issue and racism, stuff like that, like all you got to do is meet these people. All you got to do is start talking to Trump supporters and stuff like that. They're not the people that they're being described as. They're not this great threat. It's just ridiculous. Think what you will of Trump, but I think that's a good wedge in, if you're asking me. Like ask them to quantify that, how half the country is crazy white supremacists based on what? Like, what, have you talked with these people? Have you asked them? And if they haven't, then they got some work to do. But
right. Any other questions, Vern?
Mostly just, I think they're falling asleep. They're talking about Twinkies and
Yeah,
must got bad
they're
internet
over our shit
connection.
now.
Laughter is the best medicine. I think that's about it. So I'm gonna let you guys finish off.
If they didn't enjoy it, I did. So
I did enjoy
yeah,
it.
I did too. We had a bit of a competition tonight. We had a bit of a competition tonight. We had some Oreo went live around the same time I did, and everybody always tries to go to his, So I had a bit of a competition, but nice. Still a good conversation. Will be up there for people to enjoy tomorrow. I'm gonna let Brian have a few minutes to say what he wants to say and tell people where they can find him and what he's up to and what his plan is for the next agenda and whatnot.
I don't know, man. Don't put me on the spot like that, Vern. I'm not a star. I'm trying to look up to see what my username even is on Rumble, because I don't remember. Do you remember?
I believe it's Brian Helms. I can probably find out real quick.
Is it Brian Helms 3, just like it is on TikTok?
I'll find out here real quick. All I have to do is just search the name and it should pop up.
I'm trying to figure it out, but I don't know how to look.
Yeah, Brian Helms 3 has got your truck. BRIAN. Here, I'll put it on the banner while you talk. That way they can. I'll put it on the banner while he's talking. You guys can go follow him there. Maybe we can get him to start creating some content for us.
Yeah, I haven't. I know I said I was going to, and when Adam was with me, I was supposed to do a YouTube, and then I didn't. I don't know, man. The video thing, like, I've tagged some stuff and duetted some stuff on TikTok, but as far as actual videos that I create, I haven't done a lot of them. I'd like to do more. I don't know, sometimes feel like everything I have to say has already been said. I think people really need to pay attention to what's going on. And like I said earlier, I think the biggest question right now is who's going to give you freedom and who's going to take the freedom away. Period. Don't look at the political lines, the Republicans versus Democrats or whatever. Just right now, it's more about who wants to take your freedoms away. And it's pretty obvious who that is. And I think you made a really good point about Biden's speech being a declaration of war on a lot of the population of the United States. And not only was it a declaration of war on us, it was an advertisement to every person out there in the world that hates America, how weak we are and how divided and what our president thinks of us, or your president. It's not really mine, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. People need to do anything, like Adam said. I think if you're doing something, at least you're trying. Other than that, I don't really know, man. I know you're going on this.
That was a mic drop.
I know you're going. I know you're going on this. What is it? The 10-4 DC thing.
Yeah. Yep.
When is that? Is that the end of this month?
Uh, I think it's September 28th through the 2nd of October.
Well, I don't know that. I talk to anybody that'll listen, man, and
And usually I just rant. I mean, to me, like I told people, like I started doing more on my Substack because I kind of forgot I had Substack until the trolls kind of found my Substack and started talking about it.
I don't even know
Then
what
I
that means.
remembered to say I had a Substack. Substack is like it's where like where you can write newsletters, you can write opinion pieces, and it's kind of like another social media platform that has been under attack, and they can't deplatform them because of how they've because of how they're sort of set up. So I did like I'm not a writer. I'm really not. But I just started just kind of writing my thoughts down on paper, so to speak, but online. And the trolls found it, and then I remembered I had it. So I started writing more on it, and I'm like, look, um, you're not going to get a professionally written piece of paper like some of these journalists that went to indoctrination camps to write, but you're going to get my thoughts.
You're gonna honesty.
Yeah, we have to quit getting this mentality that you got to speak a certain way and think a certain way and write a certain way, or else it's not important to listen to. Because the people that are taught to write a certain way are also going to be the ones that are going to be crap. They're the ones that are saying it the right way, so you actually listen to them, and then most times it's just propaganda. So if you enjoy it, go ahead and read it. But if not, you're not going to get some kind of professionally written thing. You're just going to get my thoughts. That's just the way I do it. It's me. You're going to get me. No matter now or 20 years from now, you're going to get me. I might have refined thoughts on certain things. Like last night, I don't see TP for Freedom on here, but if TP for Freedom happens to watch this tomorrow, I'm glad that TP for Freedom actually challenged me yesterday. I was talking about defunding the police and abolishing the FBI. I said abolish the FBI and defund the police. They kind of challenged me on it. I'm like, you know what? Actually, you're right. We shouldn't defund the police. We should abolish them because defunding them would be like taking finances away from them and expecting them to still do the job. So, I might have refined thoughts, but you're going to get me. So that was my mic drop. Go ahead, Adam. Tell people where you're at, where to find you, and what you.
Are we live? Are we going to go live? I'm just joking. I've really enjoyed this with.
That would suck, being talking all this time and not be live.
Are we going to go? No. No. Thank you for having me on the show. And I am on periodically, as Vern was talking about. I try to go up at least once a week. I'm definitely going to go up at least once this week. And you can find me over on Rumble at Adam Beta. Adam Beta with a space or no space. I think you can find the channel either way. The Beta Boys 1.0 over on YouTube and Twitch. I believe it's Beta Boys 10, Beta Boys 10, all one word. And hopefully we will see something going on this week. Darth Trader says it's this right, like this is pre-recorded though, that like right now this is pre-recorded. Like I don't do these live unless I get like a lot of money. So I just sent Vern a tape and I just time it, I had a lot of yeah, Brian, and I do that, but I do it really good, so you never know. So that's all I got. Check me out over on the Beta Boys 1.0 and Adam Beta on my social media feed. I try to laugh about. I'd be honest, and I am there to rant, and like it's therapy for me because we live in some crazy times. But if I can get somebody to maybe think a little differently and challenge those sacred cows, and don't just get in with the group think. I don't know what happened to that. It's like we're all uncomfortable with thinking differently nowadays, and I don't get that. I've never been that way. When a large group of people starts thinking the same thing, it makes me nervous. So I think we should be okay with allowing people their thoughts, whatever their opinions are. Let's let people express themselves the way they want to. I'd rather them just say it out loud than keep it to themselves and have to deal with it later, however they have to deal with it. But yeah, there you go. Thank you everybody for checking us out. Golden Renaissance. It was nice to see you again. Very nice to see Brian, and nice to chat with Vern again after so long. So we'll have to try this again, I think, right, Vern?
I agree.
Yeah, I definitely. I think it'd be fun. It was good catching up.
I'll come live
I
next time. Next time, I'm saying I'll be live. Then time.
Yeah, next time this will not be pre-recorded. No. I had thought I was going to go into more deep discussions on the current politics going on, but we didn't even touch that.
We went off on some tangents.
You do and you don't, because it's all a part of the same damn problem. So I mean, I know what you're saying. Yeah. I know what you're saying though, but we were talking about it. I mean, it's the same damn thing.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it was good catching up. It was good kind of talking about what brought us, what led the three of us to eventually meet in the same place in this small world. And
yeah, because without the convoy, I don't know that I would have ever had more than maybe a what's up conversation to Adam. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wouldn't have gotten to know you or anything had you not been at the convoy and been in the truck with me. And I love you like a brother, man. I mean, you and Vern both. I mean, I have great thoughts for both of you, and I think it's because you guys are exactly like me. You say what you think. Damn what anybody else thinks about it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I have that type of personality. You can either handle me or you can't.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's honesty. It's the highest form of respect. In my opinion, when you're just
yeah, and to me, that's kind of like I keep mentioning Tim Pool because like that is the stuff that what he's creating is the stuff you don't see anymore. And that's exactly what we need. It's just conversation. Doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. He's good.
Don't pay attention to me. I'm just
what he's saying. Come on, Brian, point at him what he's saying. Follow what he's doing. You gotta read it.
This is hard to do.
Yeah.
You gotta go the right direction, man.
Push it out, man. Push it out. Pull it in.
No, you gotta go to the other side of the camera and like pull on it when it's coming into the screen.
That's
hard. Oh, this is what makes it so fun.
Sorry.
And don't forget this one too. We got Brian Helms.
I can't believe
I don't know if he's going to create content or not, but if he starts getting enough followers, maybe he can make some content. But I'm planning on having both of these guys on.
Anything at all on Rumble. I know I should get off TikTok. I know it.
Well, I got off of that. I got off of that TikTok. I did. I deleted it. I got tired. When they took that video down of that. Well, maybe I can show it here real quick. I don't think Adam's seen it yet. Have you seen it, Adam?
I have not seen it.
He needs to see it.
I have not seen it.
Let me see if I can play
I thought it was pretty funny, Adam.
YouTube tried to take it down.
Oh no! I did see this one. No, I like this one. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
YouTube didn't like it, but I appealed it and they put it back up. So
yeah,
that's Biden for us.
There you go. Jeez.
Yeah, that whole thing was a disgrace, man. That literally would go down as the worst speech ever by an American president, I think.
And people cheered for it. That's what's sad.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. That's no clue. But we got to keep talking. So we got to just keep
Yeah,
reaching out to the
we're
people.
definitely going to do this more. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be it's refreshing. And hopefully next time we can talk more into the details of what's going on. But hey, just catching up is also good. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
got your email, Doug. Anyway, we're gonna cut this off. I gotta go cook dinner, and it's been almost 3 hours live. So it was good seeing everybody on here. It was good seeing Brian. It was good seeing Adam. Hello to Brian's wife and kids. Um,
Yeah. I.
thank you guys for allowing him to be on here because we know how it works. But
Oh,
for
yeah, I gotta
those
go
of you that have
shower.
not heard, yeah,
I
for
gotta
those
put
of
my
you
pants
that
on
have
and go
not,
shower.
yeah, close them legs.
Just be glad
For
you're
those
not
of
in
you
here
that
right
have
now,
not,
Adam.
huh?
Be glad you're not in here right now, Adam. Oof.
I.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey.
I have a green screen, not a green screen, a green screen. Uh, anyway, for those of you that have not heard, I do now have a true social that I started. So follow me. I am one American, no party everywhere. I am like the herpes of the Yuck Tube.
I'll follow you.
I'm on Gab, I'm on Parlor, and I'm on True Social, and I'm One
Well,
American
you
No Party
guys,
on Rumble. I'm also One American No Party on YuckTube. And I have a Substack, oneamericannoparty.substack.com. So
you guys both use Apple, correct?
huh?
You guys both have Apple phones.
No, I use it on my
No,
laptop.
I don't.
I
Oh,
went through
okay.
the browser. I didn't get the app. I went through the browser. Um, let me
I've got it
see.
too, but I haven't been on there and used it.
Let's Not Tumble said, I'm not sure it's good for these three to be together. That's exactly why we have to be. Um,
Uh,
Why wouldn't
I
it be
mean,
good?
not like in the same room, maybe. Then it might be a problem.
Especially if none of us are wearing pants.
yeah, yeah. Imagine what would happen if we had pants on. Good Lord.
No, dude, I had a good time,
Anyway,
man. I'm glad you
Yeah, me
guys
that's for
too.
let
us
me do
tonight.
this.
Thank you guys for showing up. I'm not sure when I'm going to be live next.
Okay.
I might put some videos out that I'm working on. Check out the bolt the ashtray cigar ashtray I made for Matt. I posted up on Rumble. That's going to be a Rumble exclusive, the only Rumble if you want to watch it. It's about 8 minutes long, and I don't know. I'll try to get the live up early, and the next time I go live, it's probably not going to be for a couple days because I got my list of loads for this next week, and it's not looking too good. Looks like I'll be working till about midnight every day. So till I see you guys maybe this
Nice.
weekend, I'm not sure. But next time I go live, you guys will see it, and I'll have some good guests. It looks like Doug's going to be on one of them. So y'all have a good night. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks,
Make
Vern.
sure and pray for the evil trolls, and make sure and pray for Biden because we need it. So have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.